This video was made possible by our generous supporters on Patreon. Check out patreon.com/NWR for all the details.
Three, two, one.
Hello and welcome to episode 142 of the Talk Nintendo podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Casey Gibson, and joining me this fine evening, the birthday boy himself, Mr. Perry Burkum.
Thank you, Casey. I tried to rush over to my podcasting chair while you were talking, so you probably heard a lot of rustling.
Your jimmies were rustling? Is that what you're telling me?
My what?
The jimmies were rustling?
Maybe a little.
Oh, man. Starting this podcast out right. And also joining us tonight, reviews editor and Thirsty Mage regular, Jordan Rudek.
Gentlemen, it's a pleasure to be back. I was gonna say something about it's always a pleasure to come back with you guys because we have such a good rapport, and I wanted to make some joke about NW poor, but I couldn't come up with anything good, so I'll just leave it at that. I laughed out loud when you said that very last episode. Oh man, that was a really good one.
Did you hear it?
Yeah.
At the end.
I heard it at the end too. I wanted that clarification as well. that was really good.
Beautiful. I thought everyone would want that.
Oh, for sure.
So good, so good.
Is it actually your real birthday today, Perry, or is it close to now?
Oh yeah, my real birthday.
Well, happy birthday then.
June 4th. Thanks.
Yeah, man. And
so I just had a delicious cake made by my wife, which is a dark chocolate raspberry cake, and it was so good. It's a little tart, but it's just rich dark chocolate. Oh,
now the question is, what did you wash that down with?
Well, of course I washed it down with an ice cold Coke Zero.
Oh, I would have went with a piping hot Joe.
Did everyone see our Instagram post this week?
Oh, that was so funny, dude.
I went to a graduation party and they had a big boat full of Diet Coke and Pepsi. And I was like, look at this. This is the Talk Nintendo sponsored.
They forgot to send
party.
my invitation.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. They had a boat. They had a boat full. What is that? Like a literal boat?
They literally had. Yeah, it was like it was a huge outdoor graduation, and it was like a big metal canoe.
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay, I gotcha.
It was awesome.
That's so good. Well, it's funny too. So I got Perry, right? I got you that cool little mug, right?
Yes, and then I had this mystery box sitting on my table for like a few days, 3 or 4 days probably, and I thought it was from Jill. It was so funny. We've gotten to the point. So this week is just like the last 3 days has been like just getting packages in Amazon, and they're just stacked on the table, and Jill just opened them up for me. Didn't wrap them. It's like today. It's like, here you go. They're there. We've ascended them, and that was one of them. And it was from Casey. I was like, oh my goodness. And it was this awesome Game Boy mug. It has Super Mario Land playing on a Game Boy, and the mug actually has a pocket on it for a cookie.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, there's a part 2 that will be arriving on, I believe, Monday is the ship date. So it's a little late.
Whoa.
But the question is, do you want to know what it is, or do we leave it up for a surprise?
Casey, I'm gonna have to spoil it. Sorry, Perry, I'm gonna ruin your birthday here. I think it's a cookie.
Yeah, it's a stale cookie.
Makes sense, right? Gotta put something in that pocket.
That I made, like you made a cookie and sent it. No, go ahead and you got to tell everyone now what it is.
All right. Well, it's a vidgy game.
Oh,
it's a classic
hold on.
vidgy game.
Let's do a little mystery history here.
You probably know what it is.
Oh, I know what it is.
If you stop to think about it for
I know exactly.
Well, if you guys both know what it is, I have no idea. So you can quiz me here.
Okay, let's act like I don't know what it is. Let me guess. Is it for the Nintendo DS?
Yes, it is.
Does it mostly play on the touchscreen?
It sure does.
Has it been known as a game that can ruin touchscreens because of how frantic and crazy it is?
I guess if you're some sort of monster.
Well, I've just heard that before. Is it designed by the maker of one of the best Nintendo crossover franchises?
Yes. And yes,
Is
it
it-
does have a crappy sequel, apparently.
Oh, I was gonna say, is it Disney's Meteos?
No.
No, it's Meteos. You got me Meteos.
Yes.
Is it cartridge and box?
Yes, sir.
Oh.
Well, see, here's the thing, right? So I looked up game stores local to you, and I called. Well, actually, one had their inventory online, and they didn't have it. Then I called the other one, and they checked, and they didn't have it. And then there was a GameStop that had it, and it was like 10 miles from you. But I already knew, like, this is just going to
They
be
don't
the
have
cartridge
boxes.
only. It's like, and he's not going to want that. So I did it through eBay, and it will be coming directly to your house. So
Did you get that? Like, before I said I know what you're getting me for Christmas?
maybe, maybe not.
That's hilarious.
Well, because and I was like, man, I'm an idiot. Why didn't I think of that? Because originally I was thinking about getting the Phantom Hourglass box and manual for you.
I'm glad you didn't do that because I wanted the Spirit Tracks box and
Okay,
manual.
well, see, that's the thing. It's funny. I messaged Jill, and I was like, I think it's one of the two, and I forget which one.
She doesn't know.
And I know. And I was like, is there any way you could maybe figure this out? And then she didn't
Yeah.
get back to me in time. And I was like, all right, whatever. And then when you said that, I was like, derp, what an idiot, dude. Like, how did I not think
gotcha.
of that? So, yeah. Boom. It's on the way.
That's so funny. I wasn't even thinking anything. Well, thank you.
You're
We'll
welcome.
I'll play it. I promise you I will play it and talk about it next week.
Well,
if I get it.
if you get yeah, I mean,
We say
it's
again
E3,
on Monday then, right?
So
Okay.
you whether it's on the next episode,
It's
after
probably
that
not
is fine.
probably not on the
Probably
top of the list there.
probably
for-
on the docket for episode 144.
It's going to be a
But-
busy
There you
week next week. It'll be
Oh,
it'll be tough to
think
pick
it
up
is.
anything extra.
Oh, dude,
That's
I can't
right.
wait. Now,
Yeah.
before we get into what we've been playing, we've got a pair. Well, not a pair. What would you say a six is? Like, like a
several.
sextet?
Is it sext? Yeah, six. I think it's sextet
Or
with an E.
Sextet?
Yeah.
A sextet
Or
of Patreon
septet?
shout-outs. So over on our Patreon, if you pledge $10, you get a shout-out on the first episode of each month here in the Talk Nintendo podcast. So we have 6 people at those tiers, and we're going to give them a quick little shout-out here. Shout-out to Peter Dokas.
Or Doxus, right?
Doxus? D-O... Yeah, I can't read.
Peter Doxus.
There you go.
He is the man.
Yep, he's...
By the way.
He's actually our super producer.
He's a super
tier.
producer. Yep.
So he gets a shout out on the video over on NWR TV as well.
Yeah, and his own jingle.
Yep. We've got Chris, aka GX, who is he joins me for all the Patreon Plays podcasts.
Woo!
We've got Joel Aponte. You've got
Thank you, Joel.
Yes, you got Carmine Red, who is actually a staff member at NWR. So
Good old Carmine.
he's getting the shout out too. You got Cutestifer, who over on Discord, he good dude. He's been on the Patreon podcast as well.
Thank you, Cutestifer.
And last but certainly not least, we've got James Adams.
I'm pretty sure that's one of our presidents.
Yeah,
Or at
Yes.
least it sounds like it. John Adams and
yeah. And
James Madison or something.
Potato-
There's probably a
yeah.
James Adams.
potato.
Thank you so much.
But yeah,
That's
shout
awesome.
out to all of you. You guys rock, and we appreciate you guys supporting
Yeah,
us.
we've had so we officially launched our first we did the official reboot just a few days ago on Saturday, and there is an exclusive episode on our Patreon right now of Talk Nintendo with Alex Kalafi, top 5 GameCube games, and it's so much fun. And everyone has told us how much they love it, and it's been awesome. So if you're interested in that, check out our Patreon and the show notes, and it's just $1. All you have to do is donate $1 a month, and you get access to everything. So in a week or two, we're getting an exclusive RFN, which
Boom.
is pretty neat.
Yes, very neat. And what do they say? That's less than a cup of coffee. But anyway,
Oh yeah.
now we've been rambling here a little bit, almost 10 minutes into the show. I think it is time for a little bit of what we've been playing, and I believe Perry, you've set your cake aside because you got a little quick bite, don't you?
Quick bite. That's right. Remember we talked last week about we played a little Splatoon 2 with the gang. And I got the hook. And I've been played a few more times since then. The other night I played for think last night I played for 3 hours straight.
I've played a little bit, I guess.
It was like the good old days, man. Dude, on the original, both on the first Splatoon and the second Splatoon. I mean, like, I just played so much of that game, and it was so much fun. Me and Aaron played, Clan Blitz, so much fun tagging up and playing and just getting absolutely obliterated. But then when we win, it's a lot of fun too. But it's really fun, going through, trying out new weapons. I love that. I love the system. I love how in Splatoon, how instead of having just a gun with these different, I love how they balance it out. They make it really cool and balanced because you can't just have any gun you want with any sub-weapon and any special. I really like that because it really it forces you to try other things because you might really like this sub-weapon, but you don't like the special or you don't like the gun.
I didn't even know you could switch guns. Splattershot Juniors, baby.
I know.
Although,
that's what's crazy.
I guess I'm on the arrow spray for Splatoon 2. It's like
Yep.
each Splatoon has its own unique weapon for me.
Yep.
Hold on, you can switch guns mid-match? Is that right? Or is it you have to wait till the match is finished?
Match is
Okay.
finished.
Yeah,
But
did they change it significantly since I last played? Oh, man.
No.
No,
There
I
are
just
tons of
never
changes,
switch.
Okay,
I just
okay.
pick one weapon set and like for the entirety of Splatoon 1, I just use the default Splattershot Juniors with the bubble.
Right.
Oh, the bubble,
Yeah.
man. It's so good.
Did
That was
you
dude,
guys play
that
a
was-
lot of Splatoon 1? Like, was that a big game for you guys
That's
on the Wii
how
U?
we met, man.
Yeah? Oh, really?
That's
Okay.
the birth of this podcast.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's
we met on a game
definitely
night.
more into Splatoon than I am, but I
Hmm.
do enjoy it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, Casey's better than me, but I've played it
As
like
to be
4 times
expected.
as much. Yes. But whenever we recorded it, actually, I think we recorded a couple challenges, and I think you miserably killed me on one or two.
Well,
But
I think we
anyway.
did a 1v1 like tower controller.
Dude, those were we did it for everyone. It was so much fun. I thought it was hilarious. Anyway, the good old days. Splatoon 2 is awesome. There are some really fun changes. They really added like full-on voice chat support with the app. We didn't do that, but that's cool. I could have done it, but Skype is just there anyway. And to get really nitpicky, there are some pretty crazy changes. Like when you get deep down into it, like one of the big things with the new game is, from the old game, is that there was the ink, the power. You could power up your gun in the first one, and the icon for that was a fist that you got for all the clothing items that you wear. So you can unlock tokens, and then you can equip them on each of your weapon or your clothes, and you could actually just put like your strength up. And that wasn't in the second one. They took it out. Well, they actually reintroduced it, and it's the hardest one to get, but you can like actually power up your weapon, because I think it was kind of known as overpowered. So the weapon system is still, it's crazy how intricate it is, but I really love how it works. I love the game. And can't wait to play it on a game night or something and keep playing it. It's just so much fun.
I think
What a
the
great game,
Splat
dude.
Fests were really intriguing to me. I really got into those, actually, especially the first few. I played probably
Oh,
3
for
or 4
sure.
months when the game came out at launch, and then I moved into something else. Maybe that would probably be around the time when Mario Odyssey came out, I guess, is probably when I stopped, and then Xenoblade, just never got back to it. But I really enjoyed Splatoon when I played it. We played a bunch of what's the one where you gotta get the golden eggs and bring them back to the
Salmon
center.
Run?
Salmon Run, yeah, I played a bunch of that with
Yeah.
friends. The problem was I
Oh,
could
yeah.
never get 4 people, so we didn't play like the standard matches together because we didn't have the right group, I guess. I feel like you had to have 4 or you couldn't play together. I don't know if you
No,
could add a
Salmon
random.
Run is the absolute. Actually, it's the best one.
Yeah.
For depending on your situation with friends,
sure.
because you can play with all randoms, you can play with one friend and 2 randoms, you
Yeah,
can play with
yeah,
2 friends and 1
exactly.
random. So you can invite them, or you can just play with just 2 friends. Like you don't have to invite randoms in. So it's actually the one mode.
It's
that
got the most
actually
flexibility.
Does the right thing.
Well,
which is
you
really
say that,
funny.
Casey, it has the most flexibility, but then it doesn't because you couldn't play every day, right? Like you had
Oh,
to follow that
Exactly.
schedule. So
Exactly.
I remember that
And
being
they
kind of
ruin it
frustrating
with
too.
that,
Like we
with
would
the
have a
fact that
day
it's
off.
not there.
Yeah, it was just
It's so stupid.
Nintendo's
it doesn't make
like,
any sense. It
We'll
doesn't make
give
any
them
sense.
all of these play options, but then we'll only make it available for about 8 hours a day.
It's like what?
It's almost
in
like
the world?
It's like you don't have faith in the game because you're like, okay, we want to funnel people into like Friday and Tuesday specifically, so there's enough players playing. If that's the reasoning, right? If it's to like make sure there's a steady player base, so people aren't
I
waiting between
guess.
matches. But the game is so bloody popular that you didn't even need anything like that, right? That millions and millions of people bought this game. So, online was still free at that point, right? Like, yeah, it didn't make a lot of sense.
Classic
so
Nintendo.
dumb.
Classic.
Really,
Nintendo.
really
That's
good
why
game, but just
I stand by what I said and like what Casey always likes to remind me, which is, I hate
this
that
game.
part. It is the dumbest thing that Nintendo's ever done is how they do the online in that game. It is so bad because the online works so well, like actual connection, like playing with like it's the best Nintendo online game, I think. I mean Mario Kart's fun. I like Splatoon a lot better, but like for getting together, but just the way that like you can't even play it with your friends. You have to go through like this trial, and that may be 20 minutes if you're Casey Gibson, but it also may be 3 hours if you're Perry Burkum.
That was the funniest.
But the funny thing is like you unlock the ranked mode, and then you have to unlock the league mode. It's like and then if you do want to play with your friends on something besides stupid turf war. Then you got the salmon run, but then that's not even open all the time. It's just like, what the heck is wrong with you people?
You know what the easiest solution is, man?
What's that?
Just don't have any friends. There you go.
Don't have any friends. You're right.
No friends, no problems,
the easiest thing you could do. Definitely
Well, that's
the easiest.
The thing is, it's funny because I played Clam Blitz for the first time last night by myself because I was like waiting for Aaron to get on. So it's like I only play Splatoon with friends. I never play by myself. So I realized that. Anyway, we can move on. I love Splatoon 2, and I can't wait to play some more. And that'll be that. And let's move on to what Jordan has been playing.
Sure. So I've been, I play a lot of RPGs for the site, obviously, or just in my spare time too. And moving right along from all the Final Fantasy games we've been playing in the last couple months to a more action RPG focused game, Sword Art Online Hollow Realization. Deluxe edition, actually. It's got a bunch of DLC that came to the original release. And Sword Art Online, it's obviously based on the anime, the light novels that came out in Japan. The anime was on Netflix for a while. I'm not sure if it's all still there, but I watched the anime on Netflix. I quite enjoyed it, actually. So I was already familiar with a bunch of the characters. It's not bad. It's a pretty decent game. I don't think it's all that flashy or unique. It plays very similar to an MMO. There's a lot of systems, a lot of features, and stats to keep track of, and meters and things to build up, skills to acquire. It's a really dense game. There's a ton of content as well, just like hours and hours of side quests and areas you can explore. There's a lot of stuff that opens up actually after you beat the game. So after you've already put in 30 to 40 hours, you can go back in and probably get up to 100 hours or more, I think, if you go through everything. You guys familiar with Sword Art Online at all? Have you watched the anime?
I have no idea. I've never even heard of it.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I am not familiar. I did watch. Well, I should say I looked at some screenshots because just looking at the interface definitely looks like a balls to the walls MMO. Like
for
you've
sure,
got your action bars and
I mean,
it
you
looks
can
like
just one screen. Just looking at that UI, it's so complex.
It's like World of
There's
Warcraft
so much going
all
on,
over
right?
again.
Yeah, I figured you would kind of feel or sense a little bit of that just looking at it, but obviously a lot more faster paced. It's got that action hack and slash feel. I compared it in my review, Casey, to Ys 8 in terms of the combat, that kind of fast and fluid, comboing and chaining attack. So, and I know you liked Ys 8, and I think you would actually like the combat in Sword Art Online. I don't know if you guys would like the rest of it though. It's very dialogue heavy. There's no English. There are no English voices. It's all Japanese. So you're doing a lot of reading. And if you're not familiar with the characters, it's an extremely hard sell. I don't know who would go into a game like this and play it without knowing who these characters are. I think that'd be. I wouldn't recommend that. I'll say.
Do they do a good job of introducing these characters, or
not at all?
All right, so it's very much like you need to sort of have that base, like the foundation of what's going on.
Well, there's two things, right? One is that, you need the foundation of like who the characters are from the anime or the novels or the manga or whatever source material you're going off of. But then this is also the fourth game in the Sword Art Online video game series. So you're already 3 games behind. I don't think there's a lot of continuity, but at the same time, if you'd played some of those games, maybe you get introduced to the characters there. So they're definitely not. There's definitely no introductions or like. There might be a little bit of. I think there's some optional things you can go back and look at some of the.
Dig around a little bit for some.
Yeah,
history.
they give you some options for like, oh, do you want to like watch a cutscene that describes the TV show a little bit, or maybe it describes some of the worlds they're talking about or they're making references to. There's a little bit of that, but it's not. I don't think it's enough for someone who's completely new to this to pick it all up. So, yeah, it's not bad. I don't know that it's certainly not for everybody. Like I said, more for fans of the anime, or if you really like action RPG combat, maybe take a look, and there might be something there for you. One thing I do want to point out that is really fun about this game. And Casey, you'll like this. It has these at the end of each area. There's 5 main areas in the base game. At the end of the first 4 areas, there's kind of a raid style boss where your party of 4 meets up with all these NPCs, and you all go into this kind of boss battle arena together, and you take down like a larger creature than you've seen anywhere else in the world. So these ones have different strategies to them. Maybe you have to take out their legs first and then get them to fall down, and then you can slice at their head or something and do a bunch of damage. They've got huge health meters, so you really have to be strategic about how you approach them. You can't just kind of hack away at them and hope to take them down. You got to kind of follow whatever the strategy is. So those raid boss encounters are really fun, and I really enjoyed those. I was kind of hoping there'd be more of them, because outside of those, the gameplay is pretty repetitive.
Now, a question. Yeah. Now, this Sword Art Online.
Yeah.
Is this like? Can you act like you said? All right, you join up with NPCs to play these raid bosses. Can you
just
play
for the raid
with other
bosses?
People online to fill those roles?
There is a multiplayer element. I don't know in the story. I don't think you can do that. So the story of the single player, it's just NPCs that are joining you for those raids. There is competitive and cooperative multiplayer. I really only played a little bit of that just to kind of see what it was. I think you can do. I think you can do some quests. I'm not sure if you can do major boss fights or anything like that. Certainly don't think you can advance the story in the multiplayer. It's actually a separate area of the main menu. So if you choose multiplayer, you're just doing multiplayer stuff. I don't know how much carryover there is with your single player story.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I mean it's just adding to that content that there's more and more stuff to do in this game. I didn't even touch the multiplayer, and I could tell you probably single player there's already 80 hours at least in this game. Yeah, it's a lot. I was kind of rushing through it just to get through it so I could post a review before E3 and all the craziness started.
Before it faded away, yeah.
Yeah. It's again. I don't want to talk too much about what Sword Art Online is, because if you know what it is, then the game might be for you. If you don't know, I'm probably not going to recommend it to anyone. So.
Yeah, and if you're looking for fun
we
action RPG,
honesty.
then you better go check out Ys 8. Ooh wee!
I agree. I think Ys 8 is
Dude,
the better. Ys 8's the better game,
so
right?
Good.
I love the base building and the world building in Ys 8.
Giving an 8.
I gave it an 8.5, and I regret that too.
Too low.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it was one of the. It's like one of the few games, like probably the only game I can think about that I've like I look back and I'm like, man, I should have given that a higher score. That game, it was weird, like, because sometimes like you're in the thick of it, right? And you're trying to think like, oh, am I just really enjoying this game? Like,
yep.
But man, it totally has that lasting appeal. Like I thought about that game far more than most
thinks
games.
Of that game. Listen to him right now, Jordan.
I'm
it's good. Like,
blushing.
hey, I was thinking about it too, because I'm playing this game, Sword Art, and I'm thinking about, hey, the combat is really similar to Ys 8. But Ys 8 does a lot of things better than this game. They're pretty different. Like, the combat is the same, but like in terms of the exploration of the worlds and stuff like that, it is a little bit more. Sword Art Online has more open environments, whereas
more grandiose.
Yeah, they are. I mean, it takes a long time to walk from one side of the map to the other, whereas Ys 8 it kind of funnels you along channels more or less. There's not as much of the exploration element, I guess. But Ys 8 has really good music too, Case. Like I'm sure you touched on that in your review.
Oh yeah, that OST, man.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. So that's Sword Art Online.
Hollow Realization.
Hollow Realization. Yeah,
it's a mouthful for sure.
I've never Never heard of it, but thank you for talking about it.
Yeah, no worries. Well,
Now-
now if you do hear about it, you'll have a little bit of
Exactly.
context for it. So
The only context
Exactly.
you'll have is you should probably play Ease 8 instead.
that's right.
yeah.
There you go.
Now, Casey, you've been playing a different Square RPG.
I am. Well, I don't think Sword Art Online is Square.
And I'm saying other than the big Final Fantasy
Oh, gotcha.
binge you've been on.
Yeah, I'm dipping
You
in.
majors have been on.
Yeah, I'm dipping into the other, historically long and huge RPG franchise. That is Dragon Quest and
Pokemon. Oh,
Yeah. Pokemon's up there too, but yes, dipping back into Dragon Quest. And now the great debate was, now which one do I play? Because when Square Enix had their online sale, at this point was years ago, I bought like every Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest game they had on the DS because they were super cheap. And I was like, well, I'm just going to buy them all. And
why not?
I was like, man, now, historically speaking, you can go online and find people make lists, sort of ranking them all, of course, and the two that sort of usually find their way towards the top of the list is 5 and 8. Now, 8 remake on the 3DS, a recent one, and then 5 I had for the DS. So I was trying to decide which one, and ultimately I ended up dusting off the old Nintendo DSi, charging her up and popping in Dragon Quest V.
DSi?
Yeah, man, I'm playing it on the DSi.
I didn't know you had a DSi.
Yep,
What color?
black.
Oh, sweet. Dude, DSi is like one of my favorite handheld systems.
Oh,
it's so sleek.
It's so and
The screens are a little bigger than the DS lights, and the unit's a little thinner. I love it.
and
Casey,
it just
you
feels,
posted a picture of your DSi in the Slack chat, I think, and yeah, I had that black one too. And man, it is a nice looking system. But the feel of the console is my favorite part. That matte black finish just feels so good in your hands. It doesn't slip off. You got a great grip on it. Yeah, I love that one.
Seriously, that's what I was just gonna say, like that matte finish, because I have my my new 3DS, which is sort of similar sized, and I actually have the Mario Maker plates on there, and they're more of a
nice.
glossy
that's
finish,
awesome, dude.
Yeah.
And it's like it's fine, but I was like, I want that matte finish, and it's actually funny. I
Like the Switch, like the Joy-Cons.
Yep, I got the DSi on Craigslist actually, complete in box with like Mario Kart DS for like, I think it was like $30 or $40 a couple years
That's
ago.
it though. That's a steal, man. That's a good
Yeah,
one.
I remember I was like, oh,
Maybe for
Yeah.
Long Island.
yeah. Well, at the
Just
yeah.
kidding. No, that's
For Canada, it's a steal. I can tell you that.
Well, it was one of those
Right.
ones where I was like, oh my god, I can't believe my eyes. Like, I need to
Yeah.
get on this ASAP. And because normally I never get the good Craigslist deals. But anyway, enough about the DSi being a great piece of hardware. And we're touch on some Dragon Quest V. Now, this is, it is a good old-fashioned RPG, man. I love the DS era
Wait, you
RPGs.
like RPGs?
I sure do. Yeah, if you didn't know.
Interesting.
Yeah, and my E3 predictions, you wouldn't have guessed it either. But we'll get into those later. Now, this is, like, to me, I love the DS era. It's one of my favorite. And, like, the RPGs were just so good, you know what I mean? Like, I love the art style. You could, like, rotate the camera completely in a circle.
It's like you get like all the best benefits of like both pixel games and like they have really awesome cute polygonal graphics too. Like it's just such a great system. Like the menus can be really crisp and pixel based, but then you have like a really cool looking polygonal art style. I don't know. Yeah, I love that era. That's why I missed that era.
Yeah, these are sprite based.
And yeah, that's what I mean. And you can do sprite-based stuff too.
Yeah, you
That
get
looks
the whole
amazing.
gamut, which is nice. Now, I will comment that the one bad thing so far about Dragon Quest V is the menus are pretty bad. Like they're pretty cumbersome. Like how they're just how you have to like transfer items and like, oh, it's not so easily like, oh, is this an upgrade to the piece of gear I'm wearing? You know, it's like not as easy as you'd hope to sort of check and see. But you know, that's, you know, whatever. But as far as the gameplay, now I've only played through as far as the mainline Dragon Quest games, and to completion is 7, right, which was a remake for the 3DS. So that was a game that didn't have random encounters. They put little sprites on, or little character enemies on the world, and then you'd be able to dodge them if you wanted. This is random encounters. So, you know, that never really bothers me too much, but it was one of those, I'm like, oh, that's right. Like, this is definitely an older style RPG, right? And it is going for that. Now, it's funny. You start out and, there is the main character, right? But you get to name him. And you're like a little 6-year-old kid, because like you meet this one girl and she's like, oh yeah, like we met before, but you know, it was a couple years ago. You're 2 years younger than me, and I'm 8. So it's like, oh, okay, like my character's 6, but like meanwhile, like this little 6 and 8-year-old like sneak out after night to like go to this haunted castle or haunted tower with ghosts to like vanquish the enemies, you know, that no one else has been able to do. And like me, I was just like, that's so funny, like a little 6-year-old like just going in there taking care of business. But
that's how it is in Japan, Casey.
Yeah, taking care of the business. Now now I don't really know too much going into this game, really what it's about, right? Like, I know it's a Dragon Quest game. The subtitle
questing for a dragon
is
right?
Hand of the Heavenly Bride. So I know you can marry someone, or you have a couple options to marry them. But
when you're 6?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's you start out as 6, and I just got to the point where it's 10 years later. So some light spoilers, you know, just a couple hours in, you know, if you're really holding out on that Dragon Quest V story, you might want to skip a minute. But you get to the point where, like, you meet Prince Harry, who is just a douchebag, like, complete jerk, you know? Like, he's like, oh, you want to be my lackey? Like, you're worthless, you know what I mean? Like,
sounds like how you talk to me off air.
Yeah, pretty much. But it's funny, like, the one dialogue was like, do you want to be my lackey? And you're like, you say no, and he's like, oh, sorry, I didn't hear you. Did you say you wanted to be my lackey? Like, until you say yes, and then he goes, you're too weak to be my lackey. You're like, oh, okay, you jerk, you know?
That's great.
So he ends up getting kidnapped, and your father, who, like, is everywhere you go, is well-renowned, you know? Like, everyone's like, ooh, like, this guy's the man, you know? And you like, okay, we got to go save Prince Harry. And then eventually you save him, but on the way out, like, you encounter a battle, and it's one of those scripted battles that you can't lose. I mean, you can't win, excuse me. And then all of a sudden your dad comes, and he, like, kicks the crap out of him, of course. But then, like, a bigger bad comes by, and he's like, hey, he, like, holds a knife up to your neck, and it's like, I'm gonna kill him unless you just, like, take it and die. So your dad dies, and you are imprisoned to be a slave.
Land.
Yeah, and then that's sort of the area where it's like, fast forward 10 years later, you know? So you and Prince Harry have been slaves for the last 10 years. And it's so funny. Now, all of a sudden, Prince Harry is like like the most grounded human there is, you know? Like, complete 180 from being that jerk that he was to, like, now he's like a cool dude, like, he gets it, you know?
Kind of like before and after you started on the Talk Nintendo podcast.
Yeah. I am Prince Harry.
All right.
And you're just...
And I am...
You're my lackey.
The lackey.
But yeah, so it's so far, and then I just got to the point where I found out, like, what the main quest is, right? It's like you're trying to find your mom, and then, you know, you end up finding some more details about that, and, like, I won't go too much more into that. But, you know, I'm a couple hours in, definitely got to some points. It's funny, when you do get a new character, they are just level 1, you know? So despite, like, my main character being level 13, it's like, oh, I just gained control of Prince Harry. He is level 1, you know? So there is a little bit of grinding. Like, okay, I'm going to do some battles before I get into progressing the story because this guy's weak, you know? So I have found at least, like, 2 spots where I was like, all right, well, I'm going to go battle up before I continue pushing on the story, you know? And it's not like I've been sitting there for 3 hours on end grinding, but like, you know, a good half hour, 45 minutes of just killing some enemies, getting some gold, and sort of beefing up my characters, both stat-wise and equipment-wise. So it does have some of that involved, but to me, grinding, I've never minded doing a good old-fashioned grind, you know? It's just part of the game.
Casey, can you remind me what the 2 screens do in the DS version? Like, what's the bottom screen used for the top screen?
So,
I haven't played it for I haven't played it for years, so I'm just curious about that.
Well, when you're on like the overworld, it's like your character's on the bottom screen, but like the top screen is just an extended like. So right now I'm looking at it. I'm in a cave, and it's like I see my character on the bottom, and like it extends up, so you just get like a real long view of the cave.
Oh yes, okay.
Gotcha. And then like for the items, like the map, you know, like the top screen shows like your character's HP and level and stuff, and your gold. And then like it just sort of like the top is part of the menu, and the bottom is like sort of character-wise. Which you're selecting. And then in battle, I'm pretty sure it's just it's sort of similar, where it's like the combat is on the bottom screen, and then the top screen just shows like the order of your character. Like it doesn't really do too much in battle. At least I don't know if maybe they'll have some more interesting ones, but probably not. It totally seems like it could just be a single screen, you know, But yeah, so far I'm definitely enjoying it. Like I just after playing some Final Fantasy 12 and like that combat's it's like turn-based, man. I love turn-based RPGs. Like
I'm totally with you there. Totally with you.
That is my wheelhouse. So and that's why I think I was so surprised that I loved Ys 8 so much, because it was like, oh wow, like this is totally not turn-based combat, but I love it, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah. Give me turn-based, and guns, gore, and cannoli too, baby. No, but
in Tesla versus Lovecraft,
the Casey trifecta. But yeah, it is definitely a Dragon Quest game. You know, it's got like the cute and silly enemies. Like I faced a couple of bad apples the other day, and they're literally just apples with like mean faces. You know.
I didn't know if you were just talking about like bad guys or not. Bad apples. They're literally bad apples.
Yeah, they were literal. Yeah. It's it is a super cute game. I love the feel and look of Dragon Quest, you know. Obviously like Final Fantasy games generally go for a more serious tone, I feel like, at least presentation, where Dragon Quest is totally goofy. And like of course there's still, I mean, there was just a knife held to my 6-year-old throat, you know, not too long ago. So it's not like they're kiddie and completely, you know, fun and whimsical the whole time. But like they're just not afraid to have silly enemy designs and silly things going on at all times. And of course, you've got that awesome Dragon Quest music.
I mean, I know we're both looking forward very much to Dragon Quest XI coming to the Switch.
Oh, baby.
But I one question for you is, you know, do you feel that you're gonna go on this Dragon Quest kind of bender now and play a bunch of them, or is it just kind of like you're playing 5, you know, gonna enjoy this one, and then it's the wait till September when we get 11? What are you thinking?
I think that's gonna be it. Like I feel like, well, that was also a nice reason of going 5 over 8. 5 is, I think, about, you know, according to howlongtobeat.com, it's like 30 hours, give or take, where I think 8 is more like 60.
It's definitely longer for sure, yeah.
I think it'll really depend how the games shake out the rest of the year, right? I do have some interest in Dragon Quest Builders 2. I got my name down on the site. I believe you do too as well for that review. So we'll see.
I mean, that's like a month. That's like a month away too. Like that's pretty soon, right?
Yeah. And I was thinking like that's totally going to be a different style of Dragon Quest than 5, of course. You know, because it's sort of Minecraft as well. But yeah, I don't know. I think I'll play through 5. If I do get on that review, obviously I'll play Builders 2, and then probably take the break from there. Maybe we get into some of like the last story or like Thousand Year Door or something in that median. Yeah, because I don't want to all of a sudden grab 8 and then like wheel that right up to 11. You know.
Yeah, that would be a lot.
Burn
That'd
out.
be a lot.
I know they're pretty different, but yeah,
There
at
probably
the same
could
time.
be some other games.
You know what's funny about the Dragon Quest games? Like, it's one of those. It's going to be 11 games in the series, right? That have already come out in the mainline series, and they are pretty different. But at the same time, like, I can't think of a series that's gone up that high, like 10 or 11 games, that is so similar. Especially RPGs. Like, there's Final Fantasy 15, but those games are wildly different from each other, right? Like, 2 of them are MMOs. I know Dragon Quest has an MMO, obviously, but the PlayStation Final Fantasies are very different from the Super Nintendo ones, which are different from the HD console generation ones. Whereas Dragon Quest, like, they're all pretty standard turn-based RPGs, right? Like, they don't deviate that much in terms of their mechanics. They use very similar sound effects. You have to go to the chapel or the church to be revived, right? They almost all have that class system where you're choosing a different class and learning different abilities that way. The protagonist of every Dragon Quest game is almost the exact same character, right? They're very, very, very similar. Like some a young-looking fellow with black hair, and he's usually a knight or a sword user or something like that.
It's a little 6-year-old that gets a knife thrown up to his...
Yeah, that poor
or
son of a
that,
gun.
yeah. I mean, that's probably the youngest protagonist that they have, but I think he kind of grows up to be the same kind of protagonist that all the other games have. So, yeah, they are very similar, but it's funny. Normally, you feel like a series has had to make serious changes to continue to appeal to people. But for whatever reason, Dragon Quest, it's starting to gain more popularity in the West, right? I think a lot of people played 11 when it came to PS4. I think a lot of people are going to buy it. Maybe even more people will buy it when it comes to Switch at the end of this year, too, right? Like, maybe it's gaining momentum in the West, even though it's been the same kind of game for years and years and years. So, just an interesting
Dragon
series.
Quest 9 was huge on the DS.
Was it huge? Like, I have a copy of it right now, and I may have played it a little bit at launch, but I don't remember the reception, Barry.
Yeah, I remember it being gigantic.
Yeah,
Okay,
I've got
that's cool.
that one as well. Yeah, I didn't really play it, or
And that was huge in Japan, too. And I remember listening to RFN episodes about that, too.
I can't not wait for 11 though. It just looks so gorgeous. And we could switch to pixel art too.
Yeah. Oh, I honestly, I'm so tempted to play the whole game in pixel art just because I love it, man.
I have a feeling I'm gonna just be bouncing
And
back
you
and
can
forth.
do that.
Yeah.
Because the
beautiful.
cell shading, looks so good too.
Yeah, they both look great. I mean, that was my number one wish for it coming to Switch was please find some way to preserve the way the 3DS version is going to look, or what the 3DS version does in terms of its visuals. And they seem to have found some way to do that. I'm thrilled about that. It's probably my favorite part of the game coming to Switch is the fact that we can do.
And when
two
does it
views.
come to Switch?
September, baby.
Yeah, I don't know if we have a specific date in September,
Which
but
is
we know
crazy
that
how-
month. So yeah, pretty
So
soon.
I
pretty
bet
soon.
that'll be featured during E3. I'm sure that'll be...
I don't know. I mean, it's a pretty known quantity, because it's been out
Yeah.
for the PS4 and obviously in Japan and stuff for a while now.
Yeah.
So
I could see
mean,
Square Enix talking about it, maybe a short trailer or something like that.
Yeah.
But, or maybe they
On the
confirm a
splash.
specific date.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
trying to see if there is a date. For some reason, I thought... Yeah, I guess it just says fall. I could have sworn they said September, but...
Yeah, I don't
guess it's
think we have anything more specific
technically
than
just
that.
fall right now. But
okay.
that it should be interesting to see who gets the review on the site for that one, because I know
Oh,
there are
yeah.
going to be a lot of suitors.
It's gonna be a lot of fighting.
A battle royale.
That's how we're gonna have to decide it.
Yeah.
It's only
All right,
fair way.
Fortnite, longest one.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Well, Jordan, I know you've been playing some other small eShop selective titles.
I have. Maybe I'll
Why don't you
do.
tell us about them?
Do you want to do like 2 quick bites here? Like I can go
Two
kind of
quick
rapid
bites.
fire on it. Yeah.
2 quick bites.
Cool. I'll start with Boxboy plus Boxgirl because that's the one I kind of completed or played enough of first. I got
Yeah,
through the. Perry, I know you played this as well, right? I know you were looking
No.
forward to it. No. Oh, you.
No, I'm waiting for it to come physical.
Oh, okay.
You big
okay.
Jimmy.
It's one of my favorite kind of eShop exclusive series, like for very small kind of bite-sized games. It's maybe perfect for this segment as well.
Yeah, Boxboy's great.
Yeah, it's so charming and simple and easy to play. Like it's the perfect like pick up and play a couple stages and then put it down and feel like you've made progress. So I just love. I would play like one world every night for like a couple weeks or something like that. Put it down and look forward to playing the next one the next day. It's great for that. Yeah, Boxboy plus Boxgirl. I love that one. I thought we might get a compilation title on the Switch. So I was thrilled when we got a totally new game.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and it also does a lot of different stuff. Like I feel like there's more mechanics or more types of puzzles introduced in this fourth game than any of the other three that came before it.
Cool.
Yeah, Boxboy plus Boxgirl, great game. Gotta recommend that.
Yeah, I need to play that third one.
Oh, you downloaded it, right? You've got that ready to go.
Coming. Nope.
No.
Okay. I downloaded the second one on the podcast.
Okay.
And then Casey reviewed the third one.
Yeah, I played.
And I was like, you know what? The trilogy came out in Japan with the amiibo. And I was like, oh, I want that to come out. And I was like, well, it'll come out on Switch. So now
maybe that could be one of your E3 predictions.
So
it
I
might
need
be.
to
We don't want
download
to
it
spoil
that
it,
way.
but...
It will be announced for Switch.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, so that's one. Highly recommend that. Great puzzle game. Really accessible. Definitely a favorite of mine.
Awesome.
The next game, another quick bite I want to talk about is Gato Roboto. And I know you guys mentioned this on the episode last week. I played this game first at PAX West last year. Played like a 15-minute demo or something at the Devolver booth.
Mm-hmm.
Totally fell in love with it. Devolver had a ton of great games at that PAX.
Yeah, it's so tight.
It plays really well.
Yeah, it's fun.
And Neil was talking about in the Slack, how we keep getting the same games kind of over and over again, and we're not getting that are doing well, right? That are being received well critically, and so it's maybe stifling creativity. But you know what? We don't have any other Metroid games where it's a cat and it's black and white and it's funny and it's charming. So I don't mind. Give me more Gato Roboto. I'll go to Gato Roboto 4 or 5.
I want Doggo Roboto.
Give me more Dragon Quest, damn it!
That's right. Yeah, more sequels, right? Sequels to everything.
It's such a tight game.
It's
just I think it's a fabulous. I think it's a top-notch Metroid-like game, and I guess the only thing is it's like with the rise of the indies comes the rise of the Metroid-like games.
It's true. There are a lot of them.
It's not that that's bad.
Comes the rise of every
good.
game, though. It's like
just
shoot 'em ups, roguelikes.
It's kind of like when first-person shooters came out in Call of Duty, and it's like that was like the coolest. Like to me, that was the coolest thing. And first-person shooters were super cool. Mm-hmm. And then there's just so many of them, and it just starts to become less special, even though they're really good. Yeah. And I don't know.
But this is the thing, right? Like when I remember when Halo first came out, right? I played it on PC originally, actually, not Xbox. And so you're thinking, okay, like this is a game changer, right? Like this is going to reinvent a genre that I remember playing GoldenEye. GoldenEye back in the day, the multiplayer was great, and that was the best thing maybe. But then you get to Halo, and like it just blows it out of the water. And there's something to be said, I think, for taking a genre that people know and just doing it really, really well. I want people that create these games to feel like they don't have to completely reinvent the wheel, because that's hard. It's hard to come up with something completely different and unique that's never been done before, because we've seen a lot of good and interesting and unique video games. So instead, you take something that is familiar, but you twist it in a few ways. You kind of twist that Rubik's Cube a couple colors to the left or the right, and you've got something that's familiar, but it's different enough. It does stand on its own. It does feel like a new experience that you want to go through, and that's what I felt with Gato Roboto. Yeah, just fun to play, really simple, not overly long. Perfect for like an evening. I think my run through it, I think I took about 2 hours and 20 minutes or something like that. I basically played it in one sitting, and it was great. Like I don't mind when a game comes along that's like that, and it's just like, hey, it's not going to be super long. There's not a lot of padding here. You might be left wanting more at the end.
It's priced well for that too. It's like $8, right?
Yeah, it's like $8. Like I can't believe I would have paid. Honestly, I would have paid more than that. Like, and that's fine. I'm sure other people are like, oh, it's so short for its price, but to me, that's like a sweet spot, man. Like I want this balance of $8 short games that are tight and fun, with, I'm coming off playing Sword Art Online, which I think is a full retail price game, and it's 30 hours, and fine, there's that. But after Sword Art Online is done, and I need a break from that, thankfully Gato Roboto is there,
Isn't that great?
Oh, I love those.
I know. We're living just in the golden era, dude.
It's so funny to think back in the day, like, it was always the question of, like, how long is the game? Oh, it's only that long? Psh. Now it's like, how long is the game? Like, oh no.
Yeah, I know. Well, this is our lot, gentlemen, right? Like, these are the lives we live now. It's like, oh, it's another 40-hour game. There's no chance. I've got way too much going on. I'm not gonna be able to fit it in, right? Like, so many AAA games these days, I kind of just have to pass. Like Kingdom Hearts, I didn't play. Days Gone, I have somewhere I didn't play. I want to play the Yakuza games. There's all these games I want to play. There's no time because they're all 20, 30 hours plus.
Yeah, that I love. Yeah, the nice indie can beat it in a weekend kind of game.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think another thing is that we're adults. I think if we went back to being 12, with limited funds, we would definitely not have this problem.
Oh no, it
totally
would be
right.
perfect.
Be like getting every game
you'd
we
still
want.
be like, I want that 40-hour game.
As an adult, I can just get whatever game I want.
And then not have time to play it.
I mean, we've all talked about this, but like the Switch is also perfect for this time period where, hey, you don't always have a lot of time. Maybe sometimes you want to sit down for 20 minutes or an hour or something like that. These aren't the 8 to 10 hour gaming sessions we had when we were teenagers. We're a little bit past that. So I love the fact that I can sit down with Boxboy plus Boxgirl, play for 15 minutes, have an awesome time, put it down, look forward to it later. The Switch is making all this stuff possible. Perry, you said golden age. You couldn't be more right. Like, that's exactly what it is right now.
Mm-hmm. It's perfect.
I know.
I love the Switch, man.
I mean, it's seriously what we always dreamed of growing up. I mean, I always dreamed of taking my console exactly out of a dock, and like taking it with me and having a full-on experience. Yeah. Not even that was pre-HD.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like where like the full realization of Breath of the Wild. Like, when that came out, it's like, not only is this the most expansive, gigantic, by a long-run Zelda game, Nintendo's biggest game ever, and it's handheld.
Yeah.
What the heck is going on?
Yeah, it's unbelievable still to me.
It's crazy. Yeah. And the cool thing is, like, it's 2.5 years later from Switch?
3.
Is that right?
Yeah, came out, 2017 March.
Oh, sorry,
so
that's right.
2 years, 3 months.
2 and a bit. Yep.
Okay, so you do that, and it's still working, and like it's kind of just a proven success. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because I remember the first time that I was really like, wow, portable, like, because I guess back in the day, right, when I was growing up, like the Game Boy and like, to a lesser extent, I guess the Game Boy Pocket, in color was like, okay, like these games are good, like of course Pokemon was like amazing, but like graphically they were obviously they were what they were. But it was really when Game Boy Advance came out, and I'm like, this is like having a portable Super Nintendo. Like that's when it was like, oh my god, like this is crazy. Yeah. So now to have the Switch like just beautiful graphics on the go, like and powerful, beefy games. It's just so good. And I miss those days where you could play like literally 12-hour play sessions. I feel like my body can't. Like I don't have the attention span to do that anymore.
There's no way. Yeah, it's not.
It's
like
not I remember coming home. Like it was senior year of college or high school, and I went to visit where I went to school. And, like, we stayed at my dad's friend's house who had no internet. So it was just, like, for, like, a week, I was just like, oh, my God, this is... And that was during my World of Warcraft days. So I was like, I just want to play WoW so bad. And I remember coming home and literally playing for 12 hours nonstop. Oh, what a great
I was going to
day.
say,
Sounds awful.
It was amazing.
I think about the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance, and what came out... after those systems did was ways to play those games on your home consoles, right? You had the Super Game Boy for the Super Nintendo, so you could play your Game Boy games at home on a big TV, right? And then the Game Boy Player on the GameCube, right, where you could play your Game Boy Advance games. So even then, I wonder if Nintendo was already thinking about, okay, how can we do this? How can we make it so just one console where we play all these games rather than like all these peripherals you got to buy? You know, I had both of those and they were fun. Like I wanted to play, my Pokemon games on my TV sometimes, or play Metroid 2, Samus Return, Return of Samus on Game Boy, or on my Super Nintendo. Like it was great to have that, but now we've got the kind of the promise of all of those things put together now in the Switch, right?
It's especially as
it's awesome.
as
exactly.
RPG lovers like ourselves. It's just so nice to have that on the go at all times.
The way, yeah.
Can squeeze in a half hour of play here and there.
Yeah.
Totally. It makes those 40 to 60 hour games a little more palatable.
For sure.
It'd be nice if there was like a smaller Switch,
Before this episode airs,
friendly.
we might be talking about that.
I know, that's crazy.
We might all be talking about that, actually. We'll see.
Before this episode airs?
Well, yeah, because if it's announced, I would imagine it'd be announced during the Pokemon thing.
It's tomorrow. That's
you
right.
think so?
Yeah, they're not going to do that at E3.
They already said something like they're not going to talk about a Switch revision at E3.
Man, that would be crazy.
I imagine if there's going to be a Switch Lite or Switch Mini or whatever you want to call it, it will be discussed during the Pokemon event or Pokemon Direct, because that's the people they want to target the most.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
That was like the 2DS was kind of a big thing with that too.
Yeah, because they want to make it cheaper for the Poke people to get in.
For the Poke fans.
And it'll also work well with like the Animal Crossing fans as well.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Oh, Casey. Oh, baby. Casey, did you get my text?
No.
I was wondering, could we skip Apex?
No.
So I could talk about it with you?
Oh, do you download it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
But I haven't had a chance to play it, and we have a packed episode.
Yeah, that's cool. Just cut off what I have to talk about. Don't worry about it. No, I don't care, dude.
Just,
I'm joking.
Okay.
Not only is Perry not bringing a second thing, but he's also taking away your second thing, Casey.
Yeah, he's like, if I'm going down, you're coming with me, dang it.
That's right, yeah.
If we're going to keep mumbling about Super Game Boys.
My bad.
No, I'm just kidding. No, it was great. Okay, well, let's take. Now this is. I don't know how I'm gonna edit this together. Maybe I'll just leave all that in.
Go for it.
Well, yeah. In worst case, we have a little teaser for probably not next. We're just teasing 142 big time.
Teasing
143.
Yeah. 143.
No,
that's right.
143 is next episode. We're not gonna. That's our E3 reactions. You think we're going to stop to talk about Apex Legends? Unless if it's...
So then are we teasing 144 then?
That's what I said, didn't I?
You said 142.
That's why I corrected you, Casey.
Gosh, I'm sorry. 144
it's all good.
Yeah.
Oh, 44.
Shut up, Jordan,
okay.
damn it.
Jordan, did you hear him last
I miscorrected you. My bad.
Did you hear him the last time when he's like, welcome to episode 181?
That's so
He
good.
didn't even notice it.
You didn't notice either, in all fairness.
That's because I never listened to you big gym
And
bot.
no one mentioned it at all, so I just imagined that didn't happen.
Oh, that's so good.
It was some sort of fever dream.
Yep.
But yeah, the only way
Just
we're talking
live
about
in your ignorance.
Apex Legends next week is if they announce it for the Switch, which I could see maybe.
They could.
It might come up later, right? It might come up soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not? Well, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we got a whole bunch of eShop Roundup goodness.
Alrighty, we are back, and it is that time. That's right, the new eShop XL XX 3x9/8er.
Virtual Boy.
The new eShop Roundup. eHaw.
Plus.
Yeah, plus.
That's a real thing.
So
I
stupid.
love that. I love how it's stylized, though.
Yeah.
Well, to begin the eShop Roundup, we have our giveaway results, which our giveaway winner, which happens to be...
The one, the only.
Place in the document.
Fireman Octopus.
Fireman Octopus.
Which is at Folk Loner on Twitter there. Winner.
He puts fires out with his ink.
Yep. Winner of Little Friends, Dogs and Cats, right? That's the
right.
appropriate title.
The Nintendogs-like game. So congratulations to you. And if you would like to win a game, we give away one game every week, but that's a lie. Because this week we're giving away 3 games.
Get out of here, Perry, you big giblet.
Okay, I'll get out of here. See you guys.
See you, Perry.
Just kidding. Yeah, we got 3 codes for Project Nimbus. Which is if you like mech games, it doesn't really get any mechier.
If you like Nimbus, then we got...
you're in luck.
Yeah, you're in luck.
Doesn't get any Nimbuser than this.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. So if you seriously go, it's a really cool looking game. If you like mech games, go. We have 3 codes to give away, so you have a really good chance. We had about 45 retweets for this, so that's pretty good odds if there's 45 retweets. So go to our episode posting and retweet, and you'll be entered to win, and you might just be the winner next week.
Boom.
So isn't that fun? So thank you again for following us on Twitter at Talk Nintendo Pod. That's Talk Nintendo
POD. And you can just click the little description on your podcast right here, your little podcast service.
Well, what if
have the link
but
right
Casey,
there.
what if I'm watching on YouTube?
Well, then you should probably just check that little description right below too, because you got a link right there.
What if I'm watching on Spotify?
Well, then you better hit the road, Jack.
Okay. No, I think it's still there on Spotify.
because the description should still be there as well.
It should be there, yeah.
Yeah, we make it easy. Now, Jordan, why don't you tell us your
Picks of the week.
Your runner-up of the week here.
Yeah, what's your runner-up? What's your second choice? Oh no, are these in Canadian dollars, Jordan?
Is it really? Oh, I don't know. It had the U.S. flag on the eShop when I looked at it, so.
I think so because mine's $19.99.
Okay.
We got Jimmy prices.
You're gonna have to check. You're gonna have to give me a price check on both of these.
Price check. We need a price check.
We need a Jimmy price check.
I even changed the flag on the Nintendo webpage to it was the U.S. flag both times. I went back and confirmed it, but I guess they still gave me the Canadian price.
I need my maple leaf.
Yeah. Actually, that's a really good exchange rate for us, so I don't mind.
Yeah.
I don't mind that at all.
That is good.
I wanted to say one thing before we move on. Fireman Octopus is definitely a Mega Man X boss. There is no question about that.
Oh.
Boom.
Well, there you go.
It's
cool.
not, but it sounds like it should be.
Oh.
Fireman
is
from Mega Man 1 and Octopus is from Mega Man X, so...
Oh, Fireman Octopus.
Man, Mega Man X is such a good game.
Great game. Yeah, one of my faves. So I put them in the wrong order. I'm gonna the honorable mention of the runner-up one is gonna be runner-up. What's the language you guys use?
Yeah, runner-up.
Okay,
yeah.
runner-up. My runner-up is going to be Anarcute, which is $14.99. $18.99 is the Canadian price.
There you go.
This is it's a weird-looking game.
This game looks amazing.
Isn't it like
so quirky and cool.
Wonderful 101?
Maybe, that's probably better. I didn't write that in the notes, but I think that's a really good comparison too. It's like Wonderful 101. It's got a little bit of Katamari Damacy in it as well, where you're collecting people, like these little animals, to join your squad. And then you're just running around a city, kind of breaking down buildings, attacking enemies, picking up objects and throwing them.
It's the cutest right game. Apparently.
Yeah, right. And it's got this cool, cute cartoon aesthetic to it. I don't know. I know someone's working on the review right now, so we should have a review on the site soon.
Oh man, this game looks awesome. Good pick.
Yeah, thanks. You're taking down the Brainwash Patrol. I think it's got some idea of like you're kind of like rising up, like you're the Resistance or the Rebellion. But it's so cute and cuddly. It's kind of got that contrast working for it too. So yeah, it looks like a cool one worth checking out.
Definitely. Oh, I think there's a rhinoceros beetle in the, if you see on like the main page, there's a lot of cute little animals there.
Yeah,
I think I see a pug as well.
Yeah, pug.
There you go.
Casey, what's your runner-up?
My runner-up is Red Siren Space Defense for $9.99. Now it's sort of like a shoot 'em up a little bit, but it is like it looks like a 2D just destroy everything on the screen kind of game. But what's cool
Whoa,
is
this game looks amazing.
yeah, the visuals are really impressive. Like really,
wow, those are really crisp.
really cool and interesting backgrounds.
It kind of looks like those aren't the real visuals. Like, you know, like when...
No,
like,
but yeah, watch the video though.
Okay, I will.
Yeah, I was actually surprised. I was like, it looks pretty darn cool. And it is like you've just blown up tanks, and it's space themed, right? So you're sort of flying around in your ship, and you're just blowing up all these things. And looks like it could just
Very
be
cool.
a fun little get into it and mess things up kind of game. And yeah, the visuals look pretty impressive, and $9.99.
Honestly, it looks like an RTS or a real-time strategy game. Like, it looks like totally 3D and everything. I've never seen a shooter that looks like this. Like, this is impressive.
Yeah, it's very impressive.
Cool.
Very.
Is Tom Games?
Well,
I like the little the little logo for that.
My runner-up is Arcade Archives Alpine Ski.
Ooh.
Oh, yes. Let's go.
This is like one of those super old-looking arcade games.
Yep.
And it's like... like, the view is like top-down, and it's just these gigantic skis, and like you just... It looks like you... Kind of like a dodge 'em. Like you go around and...
I like them riding up the ski lift.
Oh, I just saw that. That's
like
really good. Like a
It's like
cutscene.
a really cute little game.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just-
that's
it's
like-
a super. Like,
Start-
let's see, when was this come from? 1882.
Wow, man, talk about impressive
looks like
graphics.
They
it's
were
from
ahead of their
1882.
time, Perry. It was a good pick.
I know.
That's
No,
so
1982.
funny. Hit the silver
But I love
slopes
how
and
it says-
glide across three
Hey guys,
different
three-
levels.
3 different stages.
Woo!
It's pretty fun.
I wonder if each one has a different ski lift background, you know? Or
Ooh,
if it's
maybe.
just that one beautiful mountain each time.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even be
Who
upset.
knows? Who knows? Download it for $7.99 to find out.
You know, it is nice that hamsters bring up all these old games that maybe you've never
Heck
heard
yeah.
of before, or you've seen or something, or even if you have some nostalgia for it. Like, it's just cool that someone or some company is taking it on themselves to bring these games to a modern or contemporary audience. I kudos to them for doing that, because like maybe there's not a ton of people that are going to buy this game in particular. Like, it seems like maybe more of like a, hey, we want to bring this game to Switch or other places. It's not going to make us a ton of money, but they're making that choice to bring it, so that's cool.
Yeah.
They're the most
Absolutely.
prolific developer on
Publisher.
the Switch, man.
That's right. That's right.
Well, Jordan, as our guest of honor, what is your pick of the week?
Yeah, my pick of the week. It's a game I think I played it at PAX like years ago, and obviously I'd forgotten about it. But then Neil reviewed it for our site, so we have a review of. It's called Time Spinner. It's $19.99. We have a review on NW Poor right now. I'm only going to say that from now on. Perry, that's the best thing.
I like
it. So it's an action platformer, very similar to kind of the GBA Castlevania games. So if you've played those, this might be right up your alley. It's got I think there's a time travel element to it that allows to change the story a little bit and maybe lead to multiple endings as well. It's got this really nice kind of pixel art graphic style to it. It's very detailed. Neil compared it to something like Mega Man X, which we were just talking about, and Chrono Trigger even. Just that kind of crisp art style that we like.
Crisp art style, but kind of like a more saturated or desaturated color scheme.
Yeah, you might be
more,
right.
Yeah.
It's got
Which is cool.
Yeah, a really neat game.
Gameplay looks really smooth.
It's got different abilities. There's RPG mechanics, side quests. It just seems like a really full game as well. So I know Neil was really high on it, and it sounds like a really good one. And it's one I've added to my wish list already. I'm in the mood. I'm in the time where I'm like, I'm waiting for a sale because all these games are coming. I don't want to really add to the backlog, but every time I see and talk about this game, I just want to play it right now. One thing that does stand out.
Buy it. You can buy it right on the show.
I could. I'll leave the Switch playing during the episode to Perry. What was I going to say? Soundtrack. It's got an amazing soundtrack. It might be worth just listening to the soundtrack before you buy the game. That might be enough to push people over the edge. So check out the soundtrack. Check out our review on the site. But Time Spinner seems like a really good one.
Cool. Casey, what's your pick of the week?
Pick of the week, baby. Warlock's Tower. Now, this right here is a cute little game. When a warlock threatens the safety of the entire world, salvation must come by mail. You're a mailman. That's right. This is it's $4.99.
What?
It's on sale for
cool.
$3.99 until the 16th of June. It looks like a old-fashioned Game Boy game, and it's a little puzzle game. What's cool is, though, with each step comes death. So you have X amount of lives, and you collect more as you go. So it seems like you just need to sort of find the correct path around here to get, I guess, to the exit. And you can only, you have limited amount of moves, but you can pick up some more via items or by collecting them across the board. But yeah, it's definitely looks exactly like a Game Boy game. And I think it said over 100 puzzles, increasingly complex rooms, outwit zombies, flying eyes, and slimes. Boom. Feel the 80s
Awesome,
retro
dude.
8-bit.
I thought, this is like one of the things where you look at the price, you look at the cover, it looks awful.
Oh, yeah.
It just looks like a Flash game, Yeah, and it's $3.99 right now. And it's like, and you look at the game, it looks amazing. It looks so cool.
Yeah,
it just goes to show you how important that is.
The
It's so
icon
important.
does not look good. The icon looks horrible. But when you look at the screenshots, like I said, it looks like a Game Boy game. Like, it looks super cute, and yeah, on sale until the 16th. So you got a little bit of time to pick it up for $3.99.
Cool, man.
So
Boom.
I just said that I wasn't gonna buy any games on the show. I just bought Warlock's Tower.
Boom.
I
Nice.
literally just clicked buy it. So thank you, Casey. You know what?
Yeah.
I saw this on the eShop on my Switch, and I saw the icon for the game, and the icon. I'm like, oh, this looks dumb. And then but I know this game. I've seen this game before. I'm like, oh, I want to buy this when it comes out. And now, okay, it's on sale, 20% off. That's great. But when you look at the game, it's got that great Game Boy style. Like,
Guys,
oh, it's
I know.
perfect. I'm like,
it's so important.
Yeah,
that's why it's frustrating. It's like you put hundreds or thousands of hours into designing and making a game for release, and then you put out this crappy artwork. That's the only thing that anyone's gonna see.
It completely hides. It completely hides what your game is based on. You went for this Game Boy aesthetic in your actual gameplay, and then you look at this the box cover kind of thing, and it totally hides it. Like, that's a shame. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm tempted to pick this one up too for nice and cheap, but now at least
$3.99, can't go wrong.
we'll be able to have Jordan's word on it.
Yep.
You know what? I'm gonna buy it too.
Let's do it.
I'm buying it right now. Hold on. I'm buying it. Proceed to purchase. I mean, it's $3.99.
Yeah, it's super cheap. Like, how can you say no?
It's $4.27. $4.27 with
Never mind. Jimmy's not buying it.
No, I'm buying it. Add funds and purchase.
Just use the gold coins to cover it, Perry. Like, I pretty much was able to do that.
I should have checked on my gold coins.
Yeah.
I have earned 20 gold coins for this purchase.
I'm gonna buy it as well, boys.
Here we go. Yeah.
And I'm gonna use my
peer pressure.
My 202 points, so it's only gonna cost me $2.14.
There you go.
That's a steal.
The system works, Nintendo, and there you go, Warlock's Tower.
Yeah.
But 3 purchases, baby.
3 purchases right here.
The trifecta.
The whole idea of the eShop Roundup is to tell our audience about the games, but we told each other about the games and now we all bought it. So that is so good, man. I love that.
That's good. We'll have to read.
So, I think we can say this was the greatest eShop pick of all time. We all bought it.
Yeah.
Yes.
3
the most persuasive eShop pick.
Beautiful.
Oh, very good.
Here we go. So my final pick of the week is this really funny named game, Perchang.
Perchang is the best name, Perry. Oh, man. I'm so glad you chose
I
it.
know.
I love that.
And it's like a Rube Goldberg machine game, side-scrolling. That's what it looks like. Like you set up like a marble that rolls onto a ramp, and then it bounces over a fan that pushes it up onto something. It looks great. It looks fun. Has a cool simplistic art style. Not like overly simple. It looks like it's not like a flashy game, but it just just a nice plain white background in most cases, and
I see a black background.
Yeah, I said in most cases.
Well,
KC.
If you look of the screenshots, there's 4 white backgrounds to 2.
black,
so I wouldn't quite say most. It's a 2.
Oh, okay.
2/3 majority.
Because Would you just stop? Okay, so yeah, this game looks fun actually. Kind of like an advanced version of Casey's favorite Super Ping Pong Trick Shot Magic or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
That you reviewed. This is amazing. But you know what I mean? I love little puzzle games like this, and it looks like a well-made one with good UI. So anyway, Matt, when Jordan's here, we have such great discussions, which creates such massive segments, and I love that. So let's get ready for our next massive segment.
This is going to be good.
So we're going to take, well, we don't need to take a break. We're just going to go right into it. It's the news block.
News Talk with Casey Gibson.
Well, it's funny, right? You would think we're a week away, less than a week away, like 1 week from this point in time, we'll know all of E3. We'll know all about Animal Crossing, all about all that goodness, right? And you'd think the week before it'd be a nice light news week, not too much. Well, no, there's a whole bunch going on. We've got to talk about here. Now, the first one is John Vignocchi.
I think it's
Vignacchi.
Yeah.
Formerly of Gearbox and VP at Disney Interactive, now joins Nintendo of America. His quote on what he'll be doing: "I'll be driving developer and publisher relations for North America so that Nintendo can continue to bring amazing content to all fans." So that's some exciting news. I don't know too much about him. I believe he's been on some Giant Bomb like E3 stuff. I know people were talking about. But
Interesting.
But yeah, so another new face at NOA.
Now he's kind of filling in the Damon Baker role, is that right? Or is he doing something different? I can't remember.
I believe that was what he was going to be doing.
Yeah,
right?
it's either Damon's
Damon
old role or
Baker's
something similar. But
gone.
Yeah, that's right.
Well,
He's
that's
on
what he's saying.
Xbox now, right?
And
He's filling in, yeah.
Yeah, seems like a good guy. He's obviously got some experience in the industry, and yeah, he's part of the Giant Bomb at Night kind of podcast series or kind of videos that they do over E3. So I've seen him there, and those are really funny. So yeah,
so he probably will not be doing that this year, I bet.
I don't know. That'll
anymore.
be interesting. I think we'll wait and see. But yeah, it might be a little bit more tight-lipped now that he's working with Nintendo, right? So.
Nice.
Next up, we got Perry's favorite, right?
Of course, Ghostbusters, the video game, remastered later this year, coming to Switch. Yeah, I actually this past Halloween, the last Halloween, I actually watched Ghostbusters for the first time. Now, before anyone gushes over it, I have to say I was supremely disappointed.
Oh no.
I'll be honest. I don't know. I've definitely seen bits and pieces of Ghostbuster movies, but yeah, I don't think I've ever really seen them beginning to end. Now
It's just so boring and not funny, and I was just like, what is this about? Like now, but I get the whole sci-fi. I love the idea. Like it kind of brought in that new era of kind of quirky comedic action, Men in Black kind of stuff, like just kind of weirdness. But like they catch one ghost in the whole movie. There's like one ghost.
spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers for Ghostbusters. I don't know. I was like waiting for it to be funny, and like no one says anything that's funny, and it's like, but Bill Murray's in it.
Yeah, he's usually funny.
And Dan Aykroyd, and just anyway.
Well, now here's the thing. There are two
just was not
Ghostbusters
impressed.
movies, right? Two originals, and then there's the third one with like the all-female cast, but that wasn't a numbered one, right? Like that was just like a
No,
reboot
it's not
of some sort.
numbered. I think it's just called Ghostbusters Again or something like that.
Okay, because I
It's
believe
not certainly not. It's not Ghostbusters 3, anyways. Yeah.
Yeah. So from what I understand, like I saw a comment or two on Reddit that was like, if you want Ghostbusters 3, like this is it, So I guess
I've heard that too. Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure like they have the original cast like involved of some sort.
Yeah, I think Bill Murray's in it.
Yeah. So it seems like this. If you like Ghostbusters, like this is probably real great news. So yeah.
Well, I don't. So anyway.
So there you go.
No, I'll give it a try, I guess. But
I won't.
I don't know. Good.
But yes, something I should have probably given a try before coming here, but I didn't. You got Labo X Super Smash Brothers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, some more Labo support, right? Now it says it's compatible with limited, timed, and offline battles. You can take a front row seat on CPU battles, and you can look all around the stages, which is definitely cool. At least in the video, showing off, like, you could totally turn around and look the opposite way, right? So you can see a lot of the different areas of the stage. Dozens of stages supported, so obviously not every single one is. And then it said you could battle CPU as player 1. So I guess that means that that's the only way you could play, otherwise the rest is just spectating, I guess. I don't know. I haven't gone too much into it. I'm probably not really even going to mess around with it.
Yeah, you can't even, you can't play it.
Although,
You're just
it said,
watching.
Well, no, it said you can battle the CPU as P1. So I imagine you can.
I don't think you can play against other people, but I think you can battle computer
A
players,
computer,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Oh.
So that's cool, I guess. It'd probably be
Well, I guess
horribly
how,
annoying.
I mean, I guess that makes sense, right? Because how could you? Because how would anyone else be able to see?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, for sure.
So, but I guess unless you're playing like local wireless, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Anyway, it's neat, but it's like okay.
yeah. It's just another thing they could say, hey, compatibility with Smash Bros. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan, what do we got on deck next here?
Yeah, so Cadence of Hyrule confirmed for a June release. I think a lot of people were kind of expecting it at the end of May, and that might have even been when the developers had intended for it to come out end of May, but that didn't happen. So we're hoping to get maybe a firm date over E3 or maybe in the next week or so. It could be because this could easily be like a Treehouse game too. I wouldn't be surprised. I know the rumored release date is the 20th of June. What day of the week is that? Is that is a Thursday? So that makes sense, right? It could be the 20th. But I guess we'll have to wait and see till we get confirmation on that.
You know what? It was data mined for they originally was data mined that it was the end of May.
That's right. Yeah.
And then for whatever reason it got pushed back, and then all of a sudden it was data mined that it was the 20th.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, I could totally see that being like a let's show it off on Treehouse and like, hey, guess what, guys? Go buy it now, you know?
Yeah, even available now. Like a lot of people have been looking forward to this game when it first got announced. You know, I know Neil is super hyped about this, and a lot of us are too. I think I'm going to pick it up as well.
Power of Zelda, man.
Yeah, for sure. I love these collaborations. I want to support when indies get a chance to play around with Nintendo IP, man. I want to give them the benefit of the doubt every time. Like, you got to support that so we can see more of it, hopefully.
Yeah, imagine being like, man, we made this really cool game that a lot of people love, and now Nintendo wants us to use one of their most famous IP in it. You know, like it must just
really
be
cool.
like bonkers. But
yeah.
Yeah, I do want to say this, and I'm going to sound like a jerk here. But I saw
what's new.
I saw some like new art, like you know, in like the logo and stuff, and I just not like I was like, man, I'm not really that impressed with like how like it kind of looks like concept art. It doesn't really look like finalized stuff, and I don't know. It's very interesting. It's very interesting that they got to use like how the crap did they get?
Yeah.
Like did they get to use that, you know, and not like Shovel Knight or something, you know? I don't know. Good for them.
Haters gonna hate, Perry. Haters gonna hate.
Okay, so if you want to kick Perry off for the next episode, I'm fine. I'll join you again. That's fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. You've been replaced, jerk.
Jerkum.
Jerkum. Next up here, we've got some interesting old school RPG goodness coming to the Switch. We got Baldur's Gate, the Enhanced Edition pack, and PlanetScape,
Baldur's Gate,
Torment's Enhanced Edition, as well as Icewind Dale Enhanced Edition. A lot of Enhanced Edition coming to the Switch. Both those. So that's 3 games. 2 of them are packaged together, and then the one is solo. And those are coming September 24th. And then you also have Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition coming December 3rd. And so there's a total of 3 physical releases, and each will be $49.99. So a bit expensive, but were these ever games you got? I'm imagining Perry did not play these games.
Never. Yeah, I never even heard of him till now.
But I'm thinking
till,
Jordan might
till
have
the
some
news broke.
experience.
Yeah, you know what? My dad played a lot of these games. I've seen them before. It was never really the type of game I played on PC. I think this may be the first time any of these games are coming to console, which is really interesting. I think, especially to get them on Switch, to get them portably, is really cool. These are pretty dense, hardcore computer RPGs. Might have some similarities to Skyrim, but I think they're even more, maybe more advanced or more obtuse than Skyrim would be. Skyrim's, I think, is pretty accessible. So yeah, a lot of systems at play, big worlds, a lot of story elements to these games. I think they might be pretty hard too. So maybe not for the more casual fans, but yeah, I'm really excited that these games are coming to Switch, because now I'll have a chance to play them. Like, I don't play a lot of games on PC these days. Very few. And so to get these maybe very meaty computer RPGs on a handheld is really, really cool. So I know a bunch of us will probably be playing these games around in the fall, and then maybe Neverwinter Nights in beginning of December. Like, I've heard of all these games before, but I may have played Baldur's Gate a little bit, but I've never played the other ones. So I'm excited about this.
Yeah, same with me. I remember vividly sleeping over at my friend's house, and this was sort of, for me, it was like the Diablo era, right? Like, I was into Diablo, and they had Baldur's Gate. And I remember playing it, I was like, oh, this is, like, cool, but I was like, but it's not Diablo.
No.
But I'm looking at some videos, like, Icewind Dale actually looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are totally, old school RPGs, like, Dungeons and Dragons-esque, I guess. At least that's what
that's not a bad way to call it. I mean, these are not games that ever came to consoles. Like, they're very maybe just dense, and there's a lot to them, and maybe a lot of intricate systems that you had to have these games on PC. That's where the audience was, right? Yeah, I think Dungeons and Dragons for sure. I think of something like Ultima, games like that, where now not all of these are first person, right? These are more that Diablo dungeon crawling style, I guess, right?
For sure. Yeah, you're gonna click over here, and your character's gonna work his way over there.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how they. I mean, this is a big part of these. These are long games. So if the controls don't feel good on the Switch, that's going to be a huge knock against these games, or might really interrupt the sales maybe. So hopefully they figure out a way to translate the gameplay onto a console, specifically a portable one. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, because I'm looking at it, looks like, it's pretty much been, PC and tablet iOS.
Yeah. So if they got it working on a tablet, I mean, that's good. I think that bodes well for the ports being, or the enhanced editions being good on Switch. So
yeah, I guess the only thing of contention is $49.99 is a little expensive.
Yeah.
But I mean, Perry's gonna probably buy all of them because they're physical.
Yep. There you go.
I thought that was cool for sure.
Oh no, physical's cool, and like you said, it seems like the one game, like you get two for one, seems like that's
a
the
cool
best
thing too.
Price point, But yeah, interesting news, like you said, cool that they're getting a release, and these older games. Like, I'm always for older games getting new audiences, and
me too.
Just like you said, preservation,
Yeah, and that's what's happening with the Switch, right? You're getting all these games. Like, I don't know that anyone predicted Baldur's Gate, Planescape, Neverwinter Nights, all these games coming to Switch, but I don't even know if these games would come to console if not for Switch. I think they're coming to a bunch of consoles, but it's something like, hey, like, everything seems to be selling on the Switch. Why don't we just put all these games on the consoles? We can do that now, right? Like, maybe it's driving people to take more chances with porting games that they never thought they would bring forward again. They were kind of finished and done with, So really neat.
Definitely.
Just a rumor I've been hearing on social media. There may be a Baldur's Gate 3 on the way. So I guess there's 2 Baldur's Gate games. This is the first one that's coming to Switch, the enhanced edition. But there may be a Baldur's Gate 3 announcement coming soon. I saw a couple of people have talking about that. So totally just a rumor, but we might see that, and that might tie into the fact that now they're bringing Baldur's Gate to consoles.
Broaden that horizon.
Because there's a new one coming, right? Yeah, that sometimes happens, right? So, yeah.
Sweet. This next bit's right up your alley, so why don't you?
Yeah. I figured you would say that, and you're totally right. So Square Enix has trademarked Collection of Mana in Europe. The Secret of Mana collection, or the Mana collection, was originally a Final Fantasy Adventure, Secret of Mana, and Seiken Densetsu 3. Those are basically three games in the Secret of Mana series, and that was the Japanese collection. I think it came out in June.
I have the first one.
Do you Final Fantasy Adventure?
In box.
Oh, nice. For the Game Boy one.
The Japanese one.
Ah, cool. Yeah. I
got that in the crazy deal. The epic Craigslist deal of all time with all the Famicom games.
This is this is a series, or a set of games that I was really hoping would come to Switch. I know when it got announced in Japan, I think it came out maybe June 2017, like really early in the Switch lifespan. Always kind of hoped we would get it. The problem is the third game in the collection, Seiken Densetsu 3, basically Secret of Mana 2 if you want, it was never localized. So that's maybe the problem with this collection, right? That's the holdup, is that game was never localized when it first came out. I think it's a Super Nintendo game, or it's around that time period, anyways. So yeah, it never got localized. There's no English version. If you wanted to play it, you'd have to find a translation somewhere. So yeah, to get an official release of that collection with that game that never came west would be really awesome. So I guess we'll see. It was trademarked, but that's not necessarily a guarantee. We don't know what exactly that collection could be yet, right?
Yeah, and we should note for Europe, right? But
that's right.
Obviously, you could just make a nice UK account. So even if it never makes it, if it does make its way to the UK, but not to North America, that's okay because you can just make a nice easy account and boom, boom.
For sure, the Switch is region. It's not region locked, so you could always import. If it was physical, you could import a copy or something. The problem with importing the Japanese copy is, again, there's no English language options. I don't think there's English in any of the three games in the Japanese version of the collection. So we've kind of been stuck. If you want to play these RPGs with in English, there's really no way to do that right now. So yeah, I would really love to see this come to Switch. One thing I was thinking about that could be a problem is that they might not give us Seiken Densetsu 3 because there were also two remasters of Final Fantasy Adventure and Secret of Mana. I think got one too, which came to Vita and maybe some other PlayStation consoles or something like that. So there's a possibility that this is just maybe a collection of some other games that maybe people wouldn't be as interested in, just some other remakes. So we really don't know what this is going to be yet, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, hopefully we could see interesting news nevertheless, and hopefully it pans out to be real good news.
Yeah.
Now this next one's right up Perry's alley.
Yes, and actually, this will tie in really, really well with one of our emails that we got for predictions.
Perfect.
So, but yes, Mario Tennis Aces still getting new characters. Fire Piranha Plant will join the roster.
Such a weird one. It's such a weird.
I love it, dude. Yeah. I love it. I mean, obviously, that's an easy little palette swap, isn't it, Nintendo?
But it's smart. But, like the way
it's awesome.
They introduce the characters too is you need to go on and do an online tournament. Just one match, win or lose, you get it. So it's cool because it just fosters like, okay, people go get this new character by playing online with other people to sort of help cultivate that online, community to keep on going despite it, being months, years, however long, it continues to be after release. So I think it's pretty smart. And it, like I said, it's easy enough to just, I just go play one match, whether I win or lose, I get a new character, and it's a good excuse to go back and keep playing. Yeah,
I think it's great. I wish that there's more substance to like these things, Like I wish characters aren't that exciting for Mario Tennis to me. I think that if there was a better single player campaign that would have, if you unlock it and you can play through the campaign with the character, that suddenly unlocks a new level. That to me would be way better. But this isn't enough for me to be like, okay, I'm gonna go back and play. Now I could see it being it for a lot of people though. So it's definitely cool. I'm glad that they're doing it. And this could have been a thing. It kind of makes you think that hey, they're still making content for it, but I'm sure every single one of these was planned before the game even launched. Anyway.
Yeah.
Very cool. Now this one is more up Casey's alley.
Yes, the Genesis Mini, baby, my favorite console of all time. The roster has finally been finalized. 42 games. That is a whole lot of
It's
games.
impressive. It's a lot.
And
Good
what's
value.
cool is now it includes a version of the original Darius, which was never ported to Mega Drive or Genesis previously. I don't really know what that game is, but
It's a shoot 'em up, I think.
Okay. More interesting enough, though, Tetris is also included. Now, due to legal issues with the game's release back in the day, the Mega Drive's version of Tetris was blocked from sale just prior to it being released, and only 10 copies of the game were ever sold. So it's not clear if the game on the Genesis Mini will be specifically the Mega Drive version or a new one ported to the Mini. But yeah, I thought that was an interesting tidbit.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine having
Very
one of
cool.
those 10
Very
copies,
cool.
probably worth a whole pretty penny.
And now it's could go down, I guess. I don't know.
Could be a little bit. I mean, this reminds me of the whole Star Fox 2 thing, right? Where we're getting a game that was finished but never like really released, right? I mean, it's kind of the same idea. Tetris, you can play Tetris anywhere, and the version's probably not that different, but it is still cool that's basically
Very
something that
cool,
was never
yeah.
sold before. You're getting a chance to buy it, so I love that idea.
An sort of, again, going back to the whole preservation thing, just an interesting bit of history and like, oh,
Sure.
okay, like something we've never experienced before. And I'm not going to go over a whole bunch of games, but Road Rash 2. Road Rash. I used to love those games.
Oh, nice.
Great game. Great
yeah,
game.
man.
Yeah.
But, yeah,
Totally.
so we've got 2 more bits of news. You two, you fight for who gets the next one, and then the next person gets that final bit.
Jordan, you go ahead and take the next one.
Sure. So we've got that's
sound
my
too
game.
enthused
Five
now.
here. I really wanted the last one, but so we've got Shovel Knight music coming to Just Shapes and Beats.
Just Shovels and Knights.
That's right, Just Shovels and Knight. It was a really cool name too. I downloaded Just Shapes and Beats. I haven't played it yet. Actually, Dawn turned me onto this game. I don't know how I missed it. It sounds like perfect game that I would really enjoy. Really good music, kind of good fun gameplay. So I'm looking forward to. I'm going to play the base game probably this weekend with some buddies. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to when the Shovel Knight music comes because that's another great soundtrack. So we don't know how many songs or when the date when that music's actually going to be added to the game, but certainly a cool thing nevertheless.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a game we played at PAX a bit, and I got a code for it, and I played a little bit. But yeah, I never really ended up putting too much time into it. It is one I should totally revisit at some point.
Yeah.
But,
It's
too
really
many
similar
games.
to other games for sure. I mean, it's similar to other games that I've played, like other kind of action platformer type games where you're maybe trying to survive and the music's a big part of it. And there's not a lot aesthetically to it. It's very simple, but the gameplay is really fun. So yeah, I'm looking forward to booting this up soon. And then when the DLC comes, the Shovel Knight music comes. I think it's free, right? I don't think you have to pay.
Yeah,
for
I
this.
believe
think
it's a free update. Yep.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Perry, you want to take us home here?
Yes, I do. The Switch. Remember that the Switch has NES games you can play on the Switch.
You mean NES games?
Yay!
NES games?
NES game. It's NES, right? Right, Casey.
makes me sick to my stomach.
Yeah. Well, there's some new games coming for June, which is this month. We had Double Dragon 2, Volleyball, and City Connection.
Ooh-wee.
Never played any of those.
Double Dragon 2 is really good. I think it was on the NES Classic Mini as well. One of the best brawlers on the system for sure. It's been a long time since I played it. I know you can play it co-op, play the campaign co-op as well. So that's a good game that I think worth checking out for sure. I'm not sure. City Connections, it's kind of like you're driving a car and it's kind of. I don't even know how to describe it. There's like platforms you're jumping in and out of.
And you got beautiful city skylines in the background.
That's right. Yeah, I think from what I remember, it's a pretty repetitive game. Maybe not a lot to it. I think it's one of the older NES games for sure.
Well, the good news is if you don't want to support Nintendo's online, you could pick up the Arcade Archives City Connection for $7.99.
There you go.
Find folks over at Hamster doing doing you solid.
Might be. I mean, that's obviously that's a better version because it's got the online leaderboards and stuff, right? I mean, that's kind of one of the problems with these NES games is that maybe if it's a score attack type game, there's not a lot of story or not a lot of meat to it. There's not a lot of reason to go back and play these games very much because you can't really show off your score anywhere. So.
And
Yeah.
I'm looking like it seems obviously like Neo Geo definitely looks nicer, right? So if you're looking at the backgrounds through on the Neo Geo version, like very nice and detailed, and then you sort of look at the NES ones and they're definitely dumbed down.
Yeah.
Dumbed down.
Well, the NES
Definitely
came
dumbed down.
first, so maybe the Neo Geo version is just a glam up. Is it glam up? Is
Dude,
that what
Neo Geo.
is that what the kids say these days?
No. Not in America.
Well, okay, so just a Canadian children
maybe
thing
in
then.
Canada.
It's an aged Canadian term.
I got a
it, okay.
glammed up toque. Come at me, bro.
I'm gonna keep using that with David from now on, and we'll see if he gets it.
Good.
Good.
Yeah, David just introduced us to the
toque.
the term toque.
Oh, okay, yeah. What do you guys call it? Beanie?
A beanie.
Beanie.
I
Yeah.
just call it a winter hat.
Shut up, Casey. No one calls it a winter.
That's too many
everyone calls it a
syllables,
beanie.
Case. I'm not gonna say two
Casey
words.
calls it a winter hat.
Yeah, well, because
Casey dumbed it down.
yeah, I dumbed it down. A winter hat. It is what it is. And I'm not trying to church it up. A beanie and a toque. Get out of here. It's a winter hat. You wear it in the winter because your head's cold, you know?
You sound like an old farmer, that refuses to with nonsense.
I think one of
That
my
is not a beanie.
When
it's
we-
a winter hat.
when we do the predictions, I think one of my punishments for you guys is going to be that you have to spell toque.
Oh, Toque.
Yeah, that's good.
Boom.
Not bad.
Hey,
I did extensive
you shouldn't have
research.
said that, Casey.
I can tell.
Well, yeah, because I was like, let me see what this toque business is all about.
Yeah.
And I became a pro.
So you write. So you put in TOOK. He's like, wait, no, that's just took. Let's say
Damn it.
That's really good.
T. I mean, yeah. Anyway, speaking of our predictions, why don't we take a quick break and come back with listener mail tied in with our E3 predictions.
2019, where Perry
2019.
kicks the bucket. Alrighty, we are back, and it is one of the most fun times of the year. It is E3 next week, so naturally we are bringing our E3 predictions to the table. And similar to years past, we are going to be doing a little competition between the three of us here, with punishments to be dealt out to the ultimate loser boy, aka Perry Burkum. And the way we're going to do this is we each have two predictions for a bronze tier, a silver tier, and a gold tier. Then there is the Dreamland, as I like to call it, tier, where there be one, and that's sort of our really our hopes and prayers tier, right? So the bronze is going to be worth 1 point each, silver is going to be 2, gold is 3, and then the Dreamland is 5. Jump it up. We get that one right, you're going to get the big bonus. Now, we also have, to start us off, we're going to guess 3 dates, each worth 1 point for Luigi's Mansion, Zelda Link's Awakening, and Animal Crossing. 3 games we know are going to be shown off at E3 and talked about, and there's no way these games are not getting release dates, right? These are all 2019 games. These are all, we're getting dates. So we're going to start it out with the dates, and it's not going to be Jeopardy style. Jeopardy, Jesus. Price is Right style. It's just going to be closest to the date. So whether it's before or afterwards, just however many days, right, is going to be the closest to the pin, if you will. And I think let's start it out with Luigi's Mansion. I will mark down everyone's here.
Okay.
Why don't you start us off, Jordan?
Sure. I think it's really funny, Case, what you said about Luigi's Mansion. Like, we're sure it's a 2019 game. We're definitely going to see it next week at E3. So I'm going to go off the board here. I think this does not make it into 2019. I think this is going to be a 2020 game. And I think it's coming in January. And I'll say January 24th for Luigi's Mansion. January 24th, 2020.
Wow.
All right. You're starting
Now.
us off right here.
Yeah, that's great. I like that. I was doing my research, and I bet you guys probably did too. And I was like, well, when did Luigi's Mansion 2 come out? Because I don't remember.
Nice.
I was like, and then I'm like, I'm sure it was in like September, like before, right before. And then I look, and nope, it was back in March.
Yep,
they were just
right.
released, and I was like, at the exact opposite time of Halloween. You figure Halloween. But my prediction is that it is going to be this year, and it's going to be on September 27th, and a good full month. Where you're finally getting into the spooky season right before October, and you get that whole month to push it, and then it's right there.
Boom.
So I'm guessing September 27th.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm going more to the point. They're going to line it up, right? They're lining it up with Halloween. I'm doing it. I'm saying October 25th.
Yeah. Nice.
I'm not going to say exactly, obviously, Halloween. Halloween, I believe, is like a Thursday.
It's a Thursday, so they couldn't, yeah.
Yeah, so obviously Nintendo games generally come out on that Friday. Yeah, I'm going the 25th.
I was thinking that too, but I was just thinking, like, if you miss
it's honestly, you know what? I'm going 18th. I lied.
That's good. I want you to get it closer to Perry's, so that's fine with me.
Yeah, give you the longer date.
That's right. That's right.
I'm gonna say October 18th.
Okay.
So that's 2 weeks before Halloween, and everyone will still be very much in the Halloween spirit.
All right. Well, this system, the reason why Price is Right rules work so well is because
I would have just cut you off nice there.
That's right.
Yeah, is that like
well then
now,
because then
now
I would
the
have been
person who
like,
guesses.
well, September 28th.
Like I know you guys didn't want to disappoint Xander, so you kept it in 2019. But I got news for you. There's too many games coming out this fall. Like
Well, I
Nintendo,
wouldn't have said that,
they really
but
loaded the back six, right? I don't know about that.
Yeah, but the last time they talked about it, they reassured it would be this year, and that's why. And I know that doesn't mean too much, but I don't know why they would have said that.
But we haven't even seen it yet, right? Like
it just smells like a point for us.
There's two games we haven't seen that they're saying are coming in 2019. We haven't seen Animal Crossing. We haven't seen Luigi's Mansion. I don't think there's two unknowns that are going to get released in the back half of this year. It's too much for me.
We'll just have to see.
We will see.
We will see. We will.
That's
see.
the whole point of doing this, right? So,
Exactly.
Oh, I love it.
All right. Now we're going to move on to Link's Awakening. I'll kick it off this time.
Sure.
I'm going with August 16th.
What?
Yep. Yeah,
Casey.
baby. Yeah,
oh,
baby.
Man. That is ambitious.
Right.
That is ambitious.
All right.
That smells like a summer game to me.
Look at this optimistic Nintendo fanboy.
Yeah, right?
I love it, Casey.
Well, like,
God bless you.
Because I was thinking, right, and when we get into my Animal Crossing predictions, I could show you my thought process with the releases here. I was thinking it could have been the November game, right? Zelda, obviously, big hitter, but I don't know, just the cutesy-wootsy graphics. Like, this isn't going to be their unveiling of a November game. This is a summer game, August 16th. We'll be playing this game before we know it.
I get it, but they've always released Zelda games, like, in November, haven't they?
Not always.
Like,
Not Breath of the Wild.
They released
Link Breath of the Wild came out in March, you dumb.
Yeah, but cutesy-wootsy Link Between Worlds came out the same day as 3D World in November.
Yeah, but that's
and
not
that's
really
why I picked November 15th. Wait, what? Link Between Worlds is not cutesy-wootsy?
It's not.
Then what is?
It's not Link's Awakening cutesy-wootsy.
It's probably the closest thing we have, maybe.
Closest,
yeah, like,
but
what
no.
are you talking about?
All right, what do you say? October what?
All right, I'm wrong. What did you say? November 15th.
November
15th, yes.
2019, all right.
I feel like it's the week before the Black Friday, and that's where all the sales come in, so. Yep.
All right.
And Jordan, what do
we got?
Okay, so I'm much closer to Perry's thinking here. I'm looking around the Black Friday holiday as well. I wanted to go right with Black Friday, so I thought Black Friday was the 29th. That's what Google is telling me. Is it wrong? Is it the 22nd? You guys got to help me out because you're the ones who actually celebrate Black Friday. We kind of appropriated it.
I haven't. I can check.
I'm pretty sure it's the 29th.
Okay. So my prediction.
Let Then I'm gonna okay. Yeah.
Perry stealing my prediction here.
Well,
if you want to adjust to the week before as well, because you said 15.
That's what I-
It doesn't
Actually,
matter.
I wanted to
You
do-
boys are both not getting a point.
I wanted to do the week before, and
Okay.
I thought that it I didn't really check the dates.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
You're going 22?
I want to
do
do
22 then,
yeah.
sure. Okay, and so I've got 29th. I think it's going to come out on Black Friday. I think Pokemon's coming out the exact same day because Nintendo has never shied away from doing 2 big releases on or around Black
Which is
Friday.
so stupid.
And this guy's criticizing my prediction.
What?
Hey, you just said Link Between Worlds, and was it Super Mario 3D World or something like that?
No, I wasn't criticizing.
No, I was talking about
I was
Jordan.
criticizing your reasoning.
I was talking about Jordan, not you, for once.
You are
Oh,
welcome
okay.
to criticize my reasoning. But I think Nintendo loves to capitalize Black Friday holiday and holiday shopping, right? I think you get 2 big releases on or around Black Friday. So I've got Link's Awakening on November 29th, which is Black Friday.
All right. Let's move on
All
to
right.
Animal Crossing. And Perry, why don't you kick it off now?
I think you should kick it off.
I just kicked off the first one last time.
Oh, you did. Okay, sorry.
and Jordan
All
started
right, well,
the
this is-
first one, so there was a
Well,
riot of
Lottie
madness.
freaking dog.
Perry's ashamed of his pick.
No, I'm not ashamed. It's funny that Jordan mentioned with Luigi's Mansion how he's thinking it's going to be 2020.
Oh no!
And that was my prediction for Animal Crossing. I think it's 2020.
Wow.
Basically,
You
for
couldn't
the same
be
thing.
any more wrong.
For the same thing. Casey's just saying that. Basically, for the same reason that Jordan said. I just think that we haven't seen any part of it, and it's already June.
Yeah.
And it's like there was such a huge lead up to the last Animal Crossing game, and I know that was kind of at the tail end of. It basically was the end of like Japanese releases, and then the big gap between the English release. But I just remember that being ridiculous. And since we haven't seen one piece of concept art or anything for this game besides that one little tease, I just don't think it's coming this year. So
what's the date?
I guess I don't have a. I guess I'll put a date in there.
You had one job.
Well, here's the thing: if they're not going to say the date, if it's next year. So, but do you want me to pick a date?
I would like you to pick a date.
I think if it's a January game, they could say the date. But
Or even
if you think
February.
I
after
just don't
January,
think it's going to
Perry,
be a January date.
Yeah.
I don't know why they. I mean, I feel like it's going to be
All right,
like
Perry's
if anything,
covering
like
the
a March.
whole year, 2020.
I'm going to say March 13th. There you go.
Okay. All right.
This is one of those situations, Casey, where it's a win-win. If I'm wrong, then we get Animal Crossing this year, and I'm really happy. And then if I'm right, I win.
All right. I'll go next. I'm way more optimistic. I'm going September 27th, 2019.
Well, that's my Luigi's Mansion date.
Yep.
Maybe that would be the date. Both those games coming out.
Can you
together.
imagine both of them? Yeah, to me, it seems Animal Crossing, big game, right? It is, it just, I don't know. It seems like a game that you want to have in September. It's like all the best things in Animal Crossing happen in that fall.
Start there.
It's like lead up to Christmas and like have that talk of everyone loving it and stuff. So
Exactly.
And now, so a part of my reasoning, real quick, to double back with like a big game each month, right? So it's like you got Mario Maker this month, July. I don't think there's really anything Nintendo wise.
Fire Emblem,
Oh, that's right, Fire Emblem, right?
and Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. Like, it's not Nintendo, but it's Nintendo exclusive, right? Like, it's a big one for them, I think.
So then that's not all right. Then you got Link's Awakening, August, excuse me. Then you got September, Animal Crossing, Luigi's Mansion in October. Then you've got Pokemon in November, and then they're just slam jamming it home till the new year. Because that's a Link's Awakening to me. I was originally like, well, that should be the November game, right? But then I was like, well, they got Pokemon, and that should be enough. So yeah, there you go. What do you got, Jordan, for Animal Crossing?
So I needed to put something in October. So I've got Animal Crossing Friday, October 18th. And I'm going to add a little bit of flavor here. I think we're probably going to talk about this later too. but I am saying Animal Crossing is day and date with the Switch Mini or the Switch Lite. I think they're going to go exact same day because that game lends itself so well
Guys, can
to
you
the
imagine
Switch
that
revision,
system?
right?
Like with the white, with all those little icons. Like
I
the
want it.
3DS
I want
one.
it so much. Like it's
Day
just
one-
perfect.
I hope
right?
not. I'd lose it.
That'd be Jill's
That
Switch.
that
even
but
though I
that
have
bundle would fly. It would fly off the shelves if they did that.
Yep.
Because there's so many people I think that played Animal Crossing on 3DS and they're waiting for a different form factor. They're waiting for the new Animal Crossing. Why not pick up both at the same time, right? That's easy. That's easy money. So that's my kind of my secondary prediction on top of that. But I've got
the beauty
October
of
18th.
E3 predictions.
That would
so
be
good.
amazing.
Just
Now-
wait till we get to the actual predictions here. That's just the
Yeah,
dates.
yeah. This is just the beginning, right? We're rolling out the carpet for our predictions. So
right.
this was each of these will be worth 1 point. Closest to the pin will get the point. If there is a tie, I guess you both get the point.
both
but
get
I
points.
doubt that's
Yeah,
gonna
that makes
happen.
sense. Yeah,
We're an
cool.
optimistic podcast, aren't
Yep.
we, Case?
Yes, we are. Now we're
No gym bots here.
we're gonna intertwine some listener mail predictions in
Yes.
between ours here. So before we get into the bronze tier, Joe Ladow wrote in, aka Pure Evil, his E3 predictions.
friend.
GTA 5 Switch announced. Nintendo Online exclusive skins for Fortnite. Mario
That's good.
Football announced. I like that one.
That would be amazing.
Mario Odyssey 2 revealed.
That's a really good prediction,
Yeah,
actually.
that's a low key, real good one.
You know, because it's like Galaxy 2, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like all
anyway.
the leftover ideas just use the same engine. You've Rare Replay announced, including GoldenEye, and
Yes.
Star Tropics 3 teased.
There's this far out one.
Yeah,
That is great.
hopefully
Joe.
some of those come
are
true.
awesome
That's for
ones.
sure.
Right. Half of those would be my Dreamland or my gold tier predictions. Like those are some heavy duty
sure.
some heavy duty shot calling going on there. But man, I would love to see it.
Oh yeah, man, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into our bronze predictions.
Oh boy.
So, and you explained the 1 point, 2 point, 3 point, right?
Yep. Yeah. 1,
I
2,
guess what's
3,
the far out?
and
point
Dreamland
system?
is 5.
10. Oh, it's 5. Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. So these are for 1 point bronze predictions. I'll go ahead and start off. If that's
Do you want to
okay.
go kind of in a
my
circle?
first
You want to
one?
go in a
Yeah.
circle? So Perry, you'll go, then maybe Casey, then I'll go, and then back to you, Perry. We'll do it like that, kind of round table.
Yep.
Sweet. Sounds
so
good to me.
we have 2 each, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. All right. So my first one is for my bronze prediction is there's nothing new from Retro Studios. Besides
update,
like
you
Metroid Prime 4.
Oh,
You know, I don't,
Do you
I don't
think they're
that
going to show Metroid Prime 4? Is that your part of your prediction?
No.
Okay.
I'm just saying they're not gonna. It's just they don't have any games.
Okay.
All of their games they've been working on have been prototypes that never got passed, and they don't have anything. And so now they're doing Metroid Prime 4, and I
Yep.
just don't think that they're gonna have any like that game that we've been waiting for 5 years is just non-existent.
but do you think Prime? So nothing new from Retro Studios is the.
I'm saying nothing new besides Metroid Prime 4. So they might show Metroid Prime 4,
But
my
that's not
thing is
part
they
of your
have
prediction,
no,
though. Yeah.
So
They
that-
have
so
no
that's-
other game.
So that smells like a nice 1-pointer for Perry right
Okay.
there.
Okay.
That's right.
He's taking the low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, I am. I'm trying to. Well, it's hard to.
You gotta take it
hard to
before
think of
Casey and I
bronze
do, right?
silver.
So-
yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
well, most of my predictions are probably all up in that gold tier, but I had to stretch some of them out to bronze to only make them worth a point. I'll go with this one. I think will be a pretty decent chance happening. So they will announce that for Super Mario Maker that there will be a Mario 2 theme. And that will probably come by way of the Treehouse Live Direct, or the Treehouse Live after the Direct. Yeah, I think they're going to
think
keep.
so?
Yeah, I think they're going to keep adding some more themes, and I think
Yeah.
that would be a good one.
There's
I
got to
think that would
be
be
there's got to be
pretty
something
cool.
there, right? There's got to be
I
because
don't
they show
know
that
if-
gap.
Well, there's definitely something else, but
Yeah.
the thing I worry with the Super Mario, obviously with the 2 theme, is that I feel like if you did that, you would have to implement the other rule set, right?
But they have a new rule set for the 3D World one, right?
So they
It's
do have a
separate,
new
so
rule
that's
set.
why
Yeah,
I
well-
think that opened the door for it.
I think so. I think that would be cool, but now can you explain to me real quick? And I don't want to take too long on this, but what's the new rule set with the 3D world?
So there's items and mechanics that do not translate to the base 4 games, where you can't just flip from one skin to the next and everything stays the same.
Gotcha.
There are things in the 3D World kit that they don't have sprites for the NES Mario Bros. or the Super Nintendo one, right? So that's basically it. So they if they did Mario 2, they can bring in new rule sets, new sprites that don't carry over to any of the other skins because they've already established that's possible. So I think it's a great prediction, cool. Casey, and I really hope so. My question for you, Case, is do you think it's going to be a free add-on that's already part of the game, or do you think it's going to be DLC?
I think that will be part of the game.
Okay.
I could see them maybe. I don't know.
That's what I'm curious about. If they're going to sell
that would be
some
interesting.
of those skin packages, right?
Because then it would have to be like the announcement would be like the paid DLC is coming, and then show it off that way. But I can see
the
it
truth
being part
is
of the
everyone
game.
would buy it if they did it as DLC. Everyone would buy that. It makes sense. I know Nintendo doesn't always monetize stuff like that, like as aggressively, but that would fly. Like the percentage of people that own that game that would buy the DLC is extremely high.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so my first bronze prediction, I wrote down 3 just in case one of them got taken. I'm just thinking if I want to do the really low hanging fruit, get a point here, or do something a little bit more aggressive.
Parry route.
Yeah. the parry point.
Well, that's what the bronze predictions are for. I'm trying to figure out what.
I guess I was just I put my big boy pants on and went for it.
Okay, I guess you're more of a man than me.
You know what?
You said it.
I'm you know what? Because E3 predictions are fun. I'm gonna aggressive and specific, and I don't care. The newest Smash Bros. Character is going to be shadow dropped during E3 week. It will not necessarily be after the Direct, but it will be sometime during that week we get a new character. And I think it's going to be a Dragon Quest character, because there has to be Dragon Quest representation in this game. I know there's been kind of rumors floating around of being Erdrick or something like that. I'm not ready to name the character, but I'm going Dragon Quest representative in Smash coming next week. It will be shadow dropped. You will be able to play as that character next week.
I mean, that fits so perfect, and that's why I was saying that. I think that goes hand in hand with when they're showing off Dragon Quest,
right?
11.
Yeah,
and then they're like, and check this out.
Treehouse Live. They're doing Dragon Quest 11 gameplay.
It should be Slime.
Here's Sakurai with an announcement.
Yes, Slime. It should be Slime. So
it would be amazing.
So you're saying this will be in the week of E3?
Yes, not necessarily the Tuesday, but at some point during the Treehouse broadcast.
So we are planning on doing these predictions the week after E3.
Yeah, we'll revisit.
So
yeah, we need to.
It'll be 2 weeks.
Yep, we'll give our impressions. Will be the next episode.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll let it all play out. Yep. All right, Perry. What's bronze number 2?
Thank you.
My bronze. Remember, bronze.
The Nintendo Direct will be longer than 15 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
There won't be a single 3DS game released. No.
So good. Oh, that'd be such a good one.
There's no... My bronze predictions is that no more Wii U games will be announced. No.
And then Just Dance gets announced and you lose the point.
Yeah. That's true.
That would be amazing.
Right?
Yeah, well, that would be so good.
No, my bronze is and you can let me know if this is okay, and I can alter it if needed be. But I was gonna say a brand new Mario Sports title will be announced.
That's your bronze? It's your bronze prediction? I think that's huge.
Yeah, but no, I'm keeping it bronze because
he's keeping it vague.
Any Mario sports.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Yep.
You know what I mean?
That's fine.
Whether that be like a new sports mix, whether that be golf or whatever. So, or football, like Joseph said.
That would be cool.
Dude, Mario football. Oh, that'd be so awesome. I would love that. Anyway, I know that's kind of not very fun, but it would be fun if it was announced. Anyway, what about you, Jordan?
My turn.
Or who is it next?
Casey?
Is it Casey?
Yeah. Well, see, I've got a couple down here now, and now it's go time. I need to decide which one I'm rolling with. I had Fallout. I'm not going to... And I think that just goes to show you that all my other ones are crazy, because that would be, I think, a big deal. So my gut wants to go themes for the Switch. My gut wants to.
Okay. Yeah.
But I also know that's probably not going to happen.
Man, it could happen. I like that.
Yeah, it could happen.
I didn't even think about that.
So the two I'm stuck between here
Yep.
are themes for the Switch and Square Enix re-releasing classic Dragon Quest games for the Switch, a la similar to like how Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, all of them came out for the Switch. But like some of my predictions are definitely RPG heavy. So let's go. We'll go themes for the Switch. Let's roll with that one. It's probably be unlikely, but it's what I want.
But it's fun to think about.
It's what I want in my hearts of hearts.
I really want that too. Yeah, that'd be great.
And it would just be so simple because it's like, I don't want to say it'd be simple, but like it'd be something where it's like, just figure it out, and people will pay you a bunch of money for something that once you figure it out, like you could crank out themes pretty easily, I would imagine, like
honestly, of course. Give me a high resolution JPEG and an MP3. There you go.
And then you could pay a premium for the ones that move a little bit.
Isn't that funny? I mean, it's like, it's so silly, but isn't that funny? That's something you want and that you genuinely love, and it's just weird that it hasn't happened.
I can't believe we're 2 years in and we still don't have it. That's astounding to me. It's so
I know.
simple.
Remember there was, and that you could switch between white and black themes.
Yeah.
From the beginning, so I think we were all excited, like, oh, look, there's going to be a system update with new themes, and nothing. And it's crazy.
Maybe it's time.
Maybe it's time.
Maybe it's time. So, Jordan, what's your second bronze?
Yeah, so I like the idea of just going hard at these categories, Casey, like you're doing. I'm going to follow you here. I'm going something that people have been expecting, talking about, wanting for a long time. Super NES games, or Super SNES games, are coming to Nintendo Switch Online starting in July. So we won't get any this month because we already have our NES games. Those have been announced. We talked about those three. I think we're getting Super Nintendo games coming to Nintendo Switch Online starting next month. That's my prediction.
What are the first three games? Go. No.
I'd be happy to go. Super Mario World. You don't want to go too many heavy hitters, right? Like you don't go the Triforce here. You don't go the big three.
Nope. You go with, but I think Pilot Wings for sure.
Pilot Wings, yeah. Go early, right? Go early Super Nintendo games. So you go Mario, Pilot Wings, and F-Zero or something like that. That'd be awesome. That'd be great, right?
And then get people and oh god, they do that. There's Super Nintendo games and themes, baby. 2 in 1.
That'd be great.
Look, Casey's getting all hyped up.
I'm ready.
On Goofenthal.
We're just finished the bronze category. Katie is blasting off right now.
Oh man, I can't wait.
I think
it's great.
Now, the funny thing, if you're listening, if you would I would gladly just pay $20 a year for online, and I would gladly pay $5 or for each of these games too on the Switch. So
yeah.
Just so you know,
I would do it. I just don't think it's ever happening.
I would much rather just own the games on Switch instead of, or just dude. Why not an NES Classic collection on Switch? Why not a Super NES? I mean, why not?
It makes too much sense, Perry. It's too logical.
It'd be so much more cheaper than releasing an actual system.
Yeah.
It's just, come on. That would be actually good. That'd be a good. Maybe I should make that a silver prediction. Anyway.
There you go.
Now, before we get into the silver, we're going to dip back into that mailbag with some more predictions.
Let's say from Shaq.
From Mr. Welsh. My one prediction for E3 is that we get a Breath of the Wild / Wind Waker style update announcement with Metroid Prime 4. Basically, Metroid Prime 4 is going to take a while, but while you wait, here's Metroid Prime Trilogy for Switch. So that seemed like a couple of predictions in there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I could see the trilogy coming as a tide me over, and also be like, hey, if you never played the series or you only played the first one, catch up before it's 4,
I mean, that makes so much sense, right? The first 3 games are so far, they came out so long ago that you're bringing up the new sequel, Metroid Prime 4, there's probably a lot of people that haven't played the first 3 games that have a Switch and would like to get into it, right? It's kind of hard to jump in with the 4th entry in a series. So the trilogy has made the trilogy coming to Switch has made sense for such a long time. I think maybe Nintendo, maybe it's finished or it's ready, and the idea is just put it closer to when Prime 4 is going to come out, right? You don't want them like 2 years apart or something like that. So yeah, I like that prediction a lot.
Boom. Yep.
Love it. Very cool.
Now we're moving on to our silver predictions. Perry, the floor is yours.
I get to go first again?
Yeah, well, I mean, I figure we just keep the rotation we've got going on. Unless
I'm happy to go first again.
I can go first. I can go first here if you want.
Oh, I was just kidding. I actually don't care. But why don't we could just switch it up? Why not?
Sure. Yeah. Let me go first here. Then we'll go me, Perry, and then Casey.
And Casey can do the first one for gold.
Sounds good. So mine's kind of a negative, a little bit pessimistic view here. There will be no tease or mention at all whatsoever of the next 3D Zelda or the next 3D Mario titles. We will not hear about them. They will not be talked about. There will be no mention at all of those next games. They may come next year, but I don't think we're going to see or hear about them at all during E3 next week.
All right.
No 3D Zelda. I know people want like a Majora's Mask style
safe bet.
Is it? I don't know. Like I think 3D Mario isn't
well, the
impossible.
Zelda is. I mean, why would they mention the 3D Zelda when they have one coming out? I know it's a 2D, but it's like it's the big Zelda tiles coming out this year, so they wouldn't do that.
I think Mario seems more probable.
And now let me ask you. I mean, this would be like, what if they did announce 3D World?
I would say that counts as a 3D Mario title.
Okay.
So that would nullify. I'd lose this prediction by that.
All right.
Yeah. No 3D Zelda. No 3D Mario. Sorry, no. I said next 3D Zelda, next 3D Mario. So unless there was like some sizable change to that, I wouldn't consider it the next. If it's just a port, I wouldn't count that. Same thing with Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. If they get ported over, I don't think that counts.
Okay. That's fine.
Like Perry, you're accusing me of playing softball here.
Well,
like,
no, I would
go
say,
back to your bronze categories.
All I know
this is probably a bronze prediction
That's
for
more
me.
of a bronze. That's more of a bronze pick.
I may have misordered. I don't know.
I think
they could easily talk about like a Breath of the Wild reskin that's like in Majora's Mask. Like I don't think that's out of the realm of possibilities, right? Like
I mean, do you think that that's more likely that they'll talk about that or that they won't talk about that?
No, but that's why I put both of those games together, right? Like that we won't.
Gotcha.
They won't mention them at all. Like no, they're not even going to say like, "Hey, we're working on this. Play Link's Awakening in the meantime." I'm trying to be strict about that part.
Okay. I'm gonna be.
It's not just visual. They can't actually say anything.
Is this the direct or is this the whole week?
During E3. During E3, the whole thing.
I'm gonna mine all the things. Look, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna.
Perry, if they mention anything about those two games, it will be talked about.
Hey, it doesn't matter, boys. I'm losing this one. So
my jimmies are thoroughly rustled.
Explicit tag.
We're not even halfway through the predictions.
Yeah. Okay, so Casey, you say you have another one?
Well, me or you? Who's up?
Well, I thought you were saying you had a.
Oh, I said I'm gonna lose.
Oh, okay. Well, I can go next.
Yeah.
My silver prediction, my first one is they're going to announce a brand new IP with an emphasis on online.
Who's they?
Now,
Nintendo developed?
Yeah. Yes.
All right.
Yep.
All right.
Now, what I mean by that, by the IP, is it could have like it doesn't exist as a game now, but it could have Nintendo characters. But it's not like it. But it's not.
So
a
it'd be like
a
Mario plus Rabbids is a new IP.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yep.
I can get down with that.
So, but with an emphasis on online, because they want to be pushing their online stuff.
Makes
you know
sense.
what I mean?
Yep.
So they want another thing besides like their Wii U games, Splatoon and Mario Kart and Smash.
And Splatoon's kind of wrapping up, right? Like they just had the last Splatfest. Is that right? Like it's they're moving on to the next thing. So maybe that could be.
Not a new IP.
No, it's not.
All
Doesn't
right.
count?
So my first silver prediction here, and I low key feel pretty good about this one. Octopath Traveler sequel is announced.
Oh, Casey, I love you. Come on, make it happen. That would get me hyped up, man.
Because I'm thinking, right, Octopath came out, was it last year, but like sort of early in the year, right? They're porting it over to PC now, get that audience bigger.
That's right.
Because you already know Octopath already sold it extremely well on the Switch. So again, we want to capitalize off this. And it seems like Square Enix and Nintendo having a pretty good relationship, and let's bring another exclusive, a follow-up. And for me, hopefully it has a more cohesive story opposed to the small the 8 smaller ones, and less grindy. But I think it safe bet at silver, right? Like, it's definitely not a sure thing, but I definitely feel like it could happen.
So there's two things I'm thinking, Case. One is that there's a mobile spin-off title of Octopath Traveler coming out. I don't know if it's coming to the West, but there is a mobile version of Octopath that is coming at some point. I think it's it's obviously made for mobile. It's not just the base game or something like that. So there's that. That's one thing that makes me think maybe not, or maybe yes. Right? It could go either way with that. I think you're bang on about them maybe fixing the story elements, because they did the whole demo thing where they took everyone's feedback and then they fixed some of the visuals and changed some of the maybe the using the map and the fast travel stuff, like the speed that your character could walk. Like, they took feedback from the demo they released really early and then implemented that into the game. So they seem to be very receptive to, the developers seem to be really receptive to what people are saying about their game. Like, they seem to be listening, and I think that's great. So yeah, I could definitely see them kind of tweaking the story, making it more cohesive, maybe doing the same thing where you've still got 8 characters, but maybe the second half of the game, it's more about the stuff they do together rather than just individual chapters.
Yeah.
But I'd be hyped. I'd be so hyped.
This is made by the Bravely Default people? Is that right?
I think it's maybe parts of that team. I don't think it's the exact same team.
Yeah, I think it's, honestly, to me,
I was going to say, because it kind of reminds me of that title.
For sure.
In those releases, So
Except
it
Bravely,
I might be a little early. Like, I feel like it might be a little early.
Oh, well, it doesn't necessarily have to come out. Square Enix, dude. They show off their games way in advance.
Yeah, that's true.
And
But
we saw Octopath at the Switch reveal, right? Or that Switch event. We saw Octopath, right?
Yeah.
So we saw it a long time before it came out.
Yeah.
That being said, I would much rather a Bravely Default game because they are just much better.
Oh, that's a whole other podcast.
Whole other podcast. Yeah, let's move on.
But yes, moving on. All right, Jordan, second silver tier.
Are you writing these down, Case?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Make sure you don't delete these.
Yeah, I wrote down the dates. I figured it would just be easier.
Okay, I have everything.
Save your own, and we'll just have.
Yep.
It'll be honor code.
We'll just copy and paste it.
Yeah, no problem. I'm just deleting the ones I'm not using, so I have what I've said here.
Perfect.
It's not a Nintendo game or not a Nintendo produced game, but my second silver prediction is that The Witcher 3, the complete edition, is coming to Switch, and it's coming this holiday. I can't say for sure, but it's going to be November, December-ish kind of time. We will get The Witcher 3 at the end of this year. I think Skyrim did pretty well on Switch. I think that CD Projekt Red can understand that there's an interest in the Witcher series. There's a Netflix show coming for Witcher. You've got Cyberpunk coming down the pipe, but let's get something on Switch so maybe we can rope that audience into their types of games as well. Witcher 3 is obviously a huge game. I played it through on PS4. The complete edition has 2 very sizable pieces of DLC, so there's a lot of reasons to come back to it. And yeah, again, in that Skyrim mold, it's a game that, it's huge. You want to be able to take it on the go. I think they'll kind of capitalize in the same way of, showing off gameplay like they did with Skyrim. Hey, you're playing Skyrim on a plane. You can play Witcher 3 on a plane. So I've got that coming to the Switch this holiday. We did see those kind of rumors or leaks or something of The Witcher 3. I think it was a Chinese online store or something like that was showing The Witcher 3 coming to Switch. So I'm going to get on that bandwagon. I think it will come at the end of this year.
All right, I like
Very
it.
Cool. Yep, that is a huge game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's massive.
And have you played it?
Casey?
Me?
Jordan.
Oh
you
yeah,
just said
sorry,
you did.
I did. Yeah, I played on PS4.
PS4. Okay. All right. So I'm next, and I've been fighting between two things here. I'm going to mention them both, but then I'll just go with one, if that's okay, since we've been doing that. It's a fight between Pikmin 4 and Super Mario Party 2. Where I'm at is I think that Super Mario Party 2 is one of their best-selling games on the Switch, and they announced it last year at E3, and then they released it, and pretty soon, like in October. And if you look at like their, they have this whole thing set up. They have their engine set up. They have everything, obviously ready. So I think obviously, development time could be turnover could be good. And if you look at like the GameCube, that was like Mario Party 4, Mario Party 5, Mario Party 6, Mario Party
almost
7.
annualized.
You know what I mean? Almost annualized. I would love it if that would happen. But then I just think that it might be a little bit too, with the HD games and that stuff, might be a little in the complexity. And with online added, it just might be too soon. So I'm going to go with the long-anticipated Pikmin 4, even though that may have been Hey Pikmin. But I just think that, that team, that Nintendo-ness of stuff, when I think of Nintendo, I think of Pikmin. I just think that is like the magic of Nintendo right there. It's not my favorite series, but I think that it's great, and it's kind of a passion project for Nintendo. And I think that we could see that right now in the Switch's life cycle. So I'm going to go with Pikmin 4. And then just for fun, this isn't part of it, but maybe even a port of Pikmin 3.
All right, very nice.
I think Pikmin 4 is a good call, Perry, over Mario Party 2, because I think it's too soon for that, right? I think it's.
Yeah.
I had expected DLC for Super Mario Party. I'm surprised and a little disappointed we didn't get that. Actually, I thought it's an easy way to do a couple extra maps or something.
Yeah, for
price
sure.
them at $5 or free. I don't know, like whatever. But
even if it was just one board and 10 new mini games, and it was $4.99, people would be like, okay,
that would be.
I
sick,
thought
dude.
for
That'd
sure
be
that
awesome.
was coming. Maybe it still is. I don't know, but I like the Pikmin 4 call.
You know what they should do? Mario Party Online. I mean, that should just be. It should be called Super Mario Party Online or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I just mean use it as a platform. For the Switch, where it's just constantly being updated with new stuff, and that way you always have something new to play. I just think that's a fun, and they could be, and it's so, guys. Mario Party is so popular. I mean, that's like one of the games that's always in Craigslist bundles here.
Yeah.
People have like stupid pets, fairies, and they have, they have Brain Age 2, and then they have Mario Party DS.
Right.
Or, and that's, it's just always. And like with Wii U bundles, they'll have, Funky Barn, and then they'll have Mario Party 10.
Yeah.
And
True.
it's just, everyone loves it. They know it. It's a huge IP for them. And so I just think that, Mario Party Online, like that concept. And what I mean is, sure, it'd be awesome if it was online, but I just mean Mario Party,
like a game,
constantly
games for
being
that service or whatever. What would be
Yes,
interesting with that is
exactly.
they could like, a holiday, it's Halloween. Here's like a Halloween themed board, or
Dude, how
all the boards at
awesome
least
would that be?
get like sprinkled with pumpkins around, like.
And then if that was online, that would be like my favorite game on Switch. I'd play that all the time.
You're not gonna like this, Perry, but what you're saying sounds like a mobile game. I feel like they could do that as a mobile game, Mario Party Online or Mario Party Mobile, and
I don't know. That
that's
sounds
how they
good.
do it, right? Like
I mean, the only thing with that is I think Mario Party lends itself the most to being the most TV game there is to play with multiplayer friends. You know what I mean? But if it's online, I could see that. I could see them making it like a turn-based. What do you call that? A passive game.
Yeah, where you send
where you're
your
not always
turn.
playing together,
Yeah.
but you send. Yeah. Anyway. So but Pikmin 4. Now that we got all that Super Mario Party stuff.
Yeah.
So Casey, what's your second silver?
All right, my second silver, Shin Megami Tensei 5 is shown off. We get a nice fat trailer from Atlas. No dates given, though. We don't get a date. It's probably going to be a 2020 game, but we haven't seen anything or heard anything from that game since the original Switch presentation, right? And even then, it was just like a couple of the demons looking real nice in 3D.
Weird.
I think
No, it's just like a bunch of them. Like in
Yeah,
a
it was
room.
just showing them off, like, hey, look at these cool characters in like sweet graphics, you know.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's time for Atlas to show us a little bit of that game, and like I said, it's probably still far off, but we're gonna see some of it.
There you go.
I like that a lot. I think it's probably coming next year, but it's time we see a trailer and probably see some gameplay as well. It's been such a long time with basically no information, which is really weird. So Atlas has always been a big supporter of Nintendo, especially in the 3DS era. So you know, I've talked about this on other podcasts, but yeah, they got to be moving things over to Switch. And you know, now that Persona Q2 is out, like, you know, maybe full steam ahead with all the Nintendo projects.
Oh,
I really hope so.
It's gonna be so good. 4 and 4 Apocalypse. Oh, such good games.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Now, before we get into our gold tier, we've got another piece of prediction mail from Rasmus. My E3 prediction is that Retro Studios will show off a trailer for a new Donkey Kong Country game. I know they're working on Prime 4, but I have a feeling that they had a game in the pipeline before they took over the project. They already had Tropical Freeze working on the Switch, so I could see a smaller team of developers working on a sequel. We already have a lot of heavy hitters scheduled for this autumn and winter, so this would be a great fit for February or March of next year. Thanks for the podcast. Great listen while at work. Thank you for the piece of mail.
Rasmus.
I would love me some Donkey Kong Country.
Oh, heck yeah.
I am
And
game.
this flies in the face of my bronze prediction.
And that's why I
That's
want
right.
it to come true even more.
And nothing would make me happier for me to be wrong about that prediction. So that I love it. So, very good. And let's read one more from Lemonade, our loyal fan and friend Lemonade.
Yep, this one came via Patreon actually too.
That's right.
Would you like to take this bit?
Or Jordan, you can.
Yeah, sure, I'll do this one. So Lemonade says, I have another insane one, and he is right, is absolutely insane. Sea of Thieves coming to Switch will use Xbox Live, like Minecraft, to be cross-play with the Xbox and PC versions of the game. It'll also support voice chat directly from the Switch, just like Fortnite. That's an awesome prediction. Like I would love to see that game because it sounds like I played Sea of Thieves at launch and it was really bare bones, like really not a lot to do. But I think the team at Rare who's working on that has put a lot of kind of care and attention to detail now. They've been listening to fans. I think they've added a lot of meaningful stuff to do. So Sea of Thieves, I think, is a very different game from when it first launched. And I'd love to see, you know, what they've done with it. Like I've just kind of stopped paying attention. We did the Xbox Game Pass for like a month and tried it out a little bit. And it was fun, but yeah, just not a lot of depth to it. So if it came to Switch and they've got all these enhancements and additions. Yeah, that's right. Nailed it. Yeah, it'd be cool to see that on Switch. I think it'd be really neat.
For sure.
Awesome.
We're now to our goal.
We in the gold, baby. We in the gold.
Which is we in Cray Cray Land.
I think almost. We're like on the outskirts.
Yeah.
So I guess this is Cray Cray Land, but
No, this is Cray Cray Land.
Is it?
We're just
Okay.
not at the Capitol building.
All right,
that's
so,
right. Casey, I think you're up here.
I'm starting out right. I'm saying
Yeah.
Mario Golf, baby. It's happening. It is happening.
You snaked me.
Oh, are you a
That was
golf
my
man?
very first one too. It's good. Go. I love it. Yeah.
I'm saying Mario Golf. It won't be this year, but that is going to be that February, like early next year game. Sort of like where Yoshi was shown off, and then it was supposed to come out, and then it got pushed back. You know what I mean? That time frame.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like-
I can. Yes, and oh my goodness, guys! I just thought of exactly how I could see this pan out. Okay, Mario Golf, right? As you know it, but it's gonna be with. Okay, it's gonna show. Oh my goodness, this is it. I have it right here. So let everyone know that I said it first. It's gonna show Breath of the Wild, or that world. That landscape, and everyone's like, "What the heck?" And then you hear the whook, and then yahoo, and you see the golf ball fall right in there, and then fall into a hole, and it comes back, and it's Nintendo Golf, or it's Mario Golf, but you can play it. You can play in Breath of the Wild, and then it goes through all that stuff. And
That hit
Couldn't you
it off
totally
the
see
plateau. You just had
wouldn't that be like the most
shot?
insane intro
Really,
for
really
a
cool.
Mario Golf?
Yeah.
Yeah, chippin'. Yeah.
It kind of makes sense, right? Because you had Link and Animal Crossing characters like Isabelle in Mario Kart, right? So maybe bring in some of these Nintendo characters into Mario Golf, right? Like, why not? Like that's the new place to go with this. So
and it would I
love that.
Yeah, it would be cool. Yeah, like Breath of the Wild, like the Links at Link.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, then you've got like
a lot of good puns there.
Yeah, you got like going through some Odyssey worlds. You got like Mario Golf is easily
it's so perfect.
My favorite Mario sport game. It is golf games are awesome. Amazing because they're just RPGs, awesome. And they're amazing, and it's just
Casey, did you say a spring 2020 release window, like something around Yoshi time? Is that right?
I was thinking more like I could see March, like February, March time.
Yeah, that's basically exactly what I wrote for my prediction. So good call. I think you nailed it. I think that's it's a gold prediction. I think it's really likely, actually.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I'll take it.
Well then, so you guys got that's both years, right?
No, Casey, I've got a few others. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll go next then.
Sure.
I'm gonna say this. Gold prediction: new Mario Kart.
All right.
For the Switch.
We're talking Dreamland, Perry.
Yeah.
That's cool.
New Mario Kart, man. Well, here's the thing.
Let him just waste it on the gold.
Here's the thing. I wouldn't think that there wouldn't be if we would have had DLC or something for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but we don't have. I don't know why. There's no DLC for that game because it's the top-selling game on the platform.
I'm telling you, it's because it was it's the definitive version, right, or whatever. It's the deluxe.
Sure.
Like you already paid for the DLC that was released. Like I think
that's exactly why they're going to be putting all their efforts into a new one and not waiting another 5 years to release it.
I'd be okay with that.
So that's why I think my new Mario Kart or Smash Kart, whatever
I would
the
be
next
down
installment
with that.
is.
I would be so happy to see it. I've got a buddy who's just like jonesing so hard for Mario Kart 9 or whatever they want to call it. I think your problem is this, Perry, and I love it. It's ambitious. I want it to happen. You've got the mobile game coming out this year. You've still got Mario Kart 8 selling gangbusters, right? It's going to be probably the highest selling Switch game, at least until something else comes along. I think it's tough for that reason that like if you bring out a new Mario Kart 9, then maybe those two games I just mentioned don't sell as well because everyone starts playing that instead. So I love the idea of maybe Mario Kart Tour kind of getting more people to like Mario Kart, and then bam, hit him with Mario Kart 9 next year or something like that.
Yeah,
wouldn't that be
totally
awesome?
See that,
yeah,
for sure. Yeah, that'd be amazing.
But maybe they tease it. Maybe they, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't know.
Yeah. I think it's me here. I'm gonna go. Casey and I have been all over the RPGs. I'm gonna go this way. I've got Square Enix bringing. You said more Dragon Quest. I've got more Final Fantasy to Switch.
Woo.
We still don't have Crystal Chronicles. They're gonna announce that's coming this fall. And then I think we're going to get trailers for, and I'm going to be ambitious. I was thinking about using and or. I'm going to go and. I think we're going to get a trailer for Final Fantasy 13 Trilogy coming to Switch. And trailer Final Fantasy Tactics War of the Lions coming to Switch.
Oh, baby.
It was a PSP release originally, I believe. It's only available, again, I think PSP, Vita. Maybe you can play that version on PS3. I'm not sure. It's a handheld game, baby. Bring War of the Lions to Switch. Bring more Final Fantasy games. I would give the trilogy, the 13 trilogy, a try if it came to Switch, all in one package. I think we're just overdue for something like that. So I've got those two Final Fantasies getting announced, and we won't know when they're coming, but they are in the pipe. More Final Fantasies are coming.
You should release all of the Final Fantasy Tactics games.
I agree.
The collection.
Yep.
I like that, Jordan. The only thing that it's like, is that an E3 announcement? You know, like, is that gonna...
Square has a presentation,
that sounds more like a direct announcement, like a Nintendo.
Yeah.
But I I think that all of that is actually happening. Like, I think it is happening, but I don't know if they're going to announce that E3. But it could.
But like, you got to remember,
and like a sizzle reel.
Square
or something.
Enix has their own press conference.
That's what I'm banking on. There's two. I've got two
Okay.
shots at this, right? That maybe Nintendo doesn't bring it up because they've already got all these games. But Square Enix, I don't think has that much coming this year, right? They've got Avengers.
They're definitely going to roll
VII.
out the carpet for Final Fantasy VII. You know, like that's going to
for sure.
a nice chunk out of their press conference.
Is that
but-
game
they
not out yet?
No,
No.
they just finally
That's amazing.
showed off like substance like a month ago, or not even.
I still think they've got a
Amazing.
whole press conference to fill with stuff, and I think ports are easy. I think again the Final Fantasy ports did well that came to Switch. There's got to be more coming. You're right, Perry. This might not be an E3 announcement, but I've got two bullets. I've got two shots at it, so
Yep,
I'm
you're
going
right.
for it here.
I didn't think about the other, the actual Square being there. So that's a great one.
Cool. Thanks, buddy. Is it Perry? I think you're
Nope,
next.
it's over to me.
Nope, Casey?
All
Sorry.
right, my final goal
his last
here.
goal.
Oh, right. Wasn't yeah.
I was between two third-party juggernauts bringing their games over to the Switch, and I'm going to go with the one that I know has a very nice working relationship with Nintendo. We've talked about it the last couple weeks here on the show. Blizzard, they've mentioned they want to work, happy with working with Nintendo. I'm going to say they're bringing over the big boy, Overwatch.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
they
Yes.
are... Overwatch League.
That's a great E3 announcement.
Yeah,
isn't it?
that
Yeah.
moves the needle, because that game.
Yes,
Because that
yes,
reminds
it
you of
does.
like Rocket League, which was an E3 announcement.
And arguably,
You know?
I mean, I know Rocket League's huge, but like, there's more money in Overwatch. There are tournaments, there are leagues.
Yeah.
It is not to say that Rocket League isn't an esport as well, but like Overwatch is.
No.
la
I'm just saying
cream
it's
of
a
the crop.
similar.
Oh no,
it's
no,
a
I know what you
similar
mean.
like feel. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's a great
For sure.
prediction.
So, and I'm
That would be
thinking
awesome.
it's like it's time. Like they want Overwatch everywhere. Bring it to Nintendo. People could be playing on the go. I know you need internet connection. You know what I mean? So, but like, hey, I'm at the airport.
but yeah, you're
like,
right.
boom, I'm playing.
Oh man, it'd be sick.
Fortnite and other games need the internet too, and there's no
Yeah.
problem with that, right?
Yeah, very
So,
true, very true.
Yeah.
Do you
Fortnite's
have an idea
huge.
of when this is coming, Casey? Do you think it's this year?
Whoo, lordy. Yeah, let's throw down the gauntlet.
I bet it'll be
yeah,
this year.
2019.
Let's do
It'll be around. Yeah, it'll be a holiday game.
Sweet. Oh yeah. Okay, that would get me back into it. I played a little bit on PC, but again, it's not the place I want to play games. But boy, do I want to play that on Switch. Cool.
All right.
All right, so my final gold. Are you ready for this? It's a sequel.
Uh-oh.
It's a sequel to one of my favorite games ever.
WarioWare.
Nope.
WarioWare
Splatoon 3.
DIY. Oh, Splatoon 3.
Harry.
Splatoon 3, baby.
You dog.
Oh man. Oh man.
Yep, I think it's happening. I think that we had a again. If it wasn't a numbered release, if Splatoon 2 wasn't Splatoon 2, I wouldn't think. I would think it'd be like a. But I think that since Splatoon 2 is so much like Splatoon 1,
Yeah.
and then they have the different years apart. It's been. I think Splatoon 2 has been around for about as long as Splatoon was. Splatoon, the first one was. It totally has been around longer than it was before they released this Splatoon 2. So I think it could happen. I think it's huge. People would accept it, and it could be a really cool thing.
Boom. All right.
I know it's crazy, but that's what gold.
That's the point. That is the
Like-
point.
That's what gold predictions
it's
are for.
good. I love. I mean, this is the best part of the predictions is where we're
Get off the
really
rails.
shooting for the stars here. We're
Yep.
going off the
We're
rails.
really
like,
shooting for stars.
But imagine we've predicted these things and then they come true and you're just like, oh my god,
Called
you're
it.
so
I know.
happy,
I-
right?
But yeah, then you act like you
beauty
knew the
of these
whole
predictions is nothing comes true.
Yeah.
So
right,
the-
yeah.
time. Yeah,
I mean, just
the final
nothing,
score is going to be
like-
like 4-2
it's like
to 1.
Yeah. Exactly.
I think that's
Somehow I'm gonna
that
get
might have been the
negative
same
one
score
somehow.
when we played Mystery Anniversary between me and Xander.
Yeah.
Can't pass up an
exactly.
opportunity to rib him.
So
Yep.
good. So good.
Okay, so
Now,
my last gold prediction, is that right? Okay, so Casey, you called out Octopath 2 being announced, and you mentioned the game that I'm going to mention here, Bravely Default.
Oh, baby, please.
I think we get a teaser for Bravely Default. I think that it's possible they'll say something like 2020. I'm going to go with that. I'm going to say 20. They'll say 2020. Definitely not coming this year, but it is happening. It is in the works. We'll probably. I don't think we're going to get gameplay. I think it's just going to be, kind of a cinematic trailer, or very narrative, dialogue heavy one. Maybe some talking over some images or something like that. But I've got Bravely Default coming before Octopath, because I think I could see them kind of alternating. I do feel like the Bravely team is still working on something. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I just really want it, actually, more than anything.
Is it called Bravely Third?
Makes sense.
It does make sense.
But because that makes sense, then no, it won't be called that.
It could be something so like bravely to the third power, or something ridiculous.
Hashtag,
yeah.
Sharp
Bravely third.
The fairy
cubed.
has landed.
Yeah. Bravely cubed. I'm gonna go with. So weird.
That would be so good.
Yeah, I'd be thrilled about that.
Yeah,
I think there's some teaser artwork that they had around the time of Octopath's release, so got me thinking, maybe they're working on that as well. And we haven't heard anything about a Bravely collection, so I'm like, maybe they're not redoing the first two games. They're just going to go straight to a third one.
I hope so, man.
That's my hope. Yeah.
The Bravely series is amazing. Unbelievable music. I love the art style. The world is just super cool.
Very cool.
Very great game. Well, now it's the moment we've all been waiting for, Dreamland. But before we get there, we've got one last bit of mail from John from Down Under.
Down Under. Yeah, he just sent this in.
Yeah, he just made it in time.
I just want to mention I want to recap. We talked about calling Casey the Metropolitan because he's a Met fan and I'm a Cornhusker fan. And he said if that doesn't work, we could go for Neapolitan. Neapolitan is a tub of ice cream with 3 flavors: vanilla, like Casey's very basic taste in soda, and sugar-based drink produce.
I love the explanation of Neapolitan here. It's so good.
I know. Strawberry, to represent the old Gibson sweetness. Doctors blame sugar and genetic conditioning for my diabetes, but I blame the Talk Nintendo podcast. And then he says chocolate to represent the base Nintendo deliciousness and scooping up the eShop picks. I believe this could work. Anyway, I just think that's great, and I think, Casey, you are definitely the Neapolitan.
He always sends great emails.
He said, totally not going to happen, but it would make me a happy man. Number 1, Red Dead Redemption 1 port with DLC, or port of GTA 5, or an earlier title in the series that the Switch could handle. That's not out of the question. I can't believe that Grand Theft Auto 5 is not on there. Number 2, Super Paper Mario sequel. That's not going to happen. That would be cool, though. 3, new Super Wario Bros. See? That's why I like you, John. You're an optimistic fool. Number 4, a new 2D Donkey Kong platformer. Could happen. Fantastic series. Really awesome series. And if the possible. Number 1, Mario Golf, and by the way, I censored this for our listeners. Mario Golf, gall darn it, Camelot. I don't want to play tennis once a month anymore to unlock the ability to play as Bowser's second cousin, Giovanni Koopa, the accountant. Just stop the updates. Give me my darn golf.
Couldn't agree more.
I love that. That was all caps. Yeah, that's just how I read it.
Casey and I were thinking in all caps when we wrote those predictions.
Exactly. Number 2, Retro Studios game that they surely had to or finished before Metroid Prime 4 was left on the doorstep like an abandoned, ugly space baby. Hey, that was my prediction. That was my bronze prediction that everyone laughed at.
Well, we were laughing at you, not your prediction.
No, Perry, you said there won't be a Retro Studios game. John is saying there will be a Retro Studios game.
It was left. Oh, okay. I guess he's saying it would be there, right?
Yeah.
But he left. But it's barely there. They left it on the abandoned, ugly space baby. 3, SNES for online services.
That's
your
it,
prediction,
John.
Jordan.
Let's go. Yeah, totally in step with him there.
And then he ends with, the E3 is really hard to predict, given we already know so much about Nintendo's lineup for the rest of the year. Give me that darn Animal Crossing. Look forward to hearing those predictions.
All right.
Well, John, I hope you've got 3 hours set aside, because that's the length of this episode.
Yeah, it's a beefy one.
And now it's time.
Who's going first? Who wants to take the plunge first?
The moment you've all been waiting for.
I'll take the plunge first.
All right,
Perry,
let's hear
I'll
it.
be so disappointed if you take mine. If you steal mine here, I'll be crushed.
I might. This would be. I probably would have predicted every year.
Uh-oh.
If that's what it is, but new WarioWare.
Yeah.
Got to. New WarioWare, baby. It's just, we need WarioWare Gold. I don't know why that wasn't on Switch. I mean, I guess I knew why because of all the touchscreen and all that business. But I want a brand new WarioWare. Joy-Con crazy. It has to happen.
You know what they should do? They should make a WarioWare cross Wario Land.
Oh, that dude!
Where
I've always talked about
platforming, but like
and you get your freaking motorcycle, and you can like cycle over stuff. And oh, dude, I know.
Honestly, one of the best times I had with the Wii U was playing the gamer mini game in WarioWare for Wii U, right? Like that game in Wario, like that mini game was perfection. I didn't think the rest of the game was great, but that one really stood out to me among a Wii U lineup that was a little bit weaker than we were expecting. That gamer minigame was so good. We had a blast playing that with, and it was a great game that you could play with other people too, right? Even though we got one person on the screen, but everyone's watching the TV. It was so fun.
And it's like super creepy.
Yeah, so
and
creepy.
Hilarious. I know, I love it.
So much tension, right?
I know, far out. I know that WarioWare just isn't mainstream, but it's just. It's everything I love about Nintendo wrapped up in a game. It's honestly like that's the best way to put WarioWare for me. So, in Rhythm Heaven. Anyway.
All right.
Do
you want to go?
That is Dreamland to the max. Why don't you go, Case? I'll finish this up here.
All right. Well, originally I put down the 4DS, but I reeled it back in because I wanted to have a shot at some points.
Exactly.
I did not reel it in, and I'm throwing these points away. So hopefully one of you guys gets this.
It's like I wanted it bad. I would love a successor to the 3DS so bad.
Alternate Joy-Con colors.
But no, I'm going with a Paper Mario Thousand Year Door remake.
Wow.
And it's going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes. A remaster even would be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I
is
mean,
that what you mean?
Yeah, it's going to be like, I could see it like just HDing it, right? Because it doesn't.
Because it's gorgeous.
It's already going to be looking nice. It'll be sort of like Wind Waker, right? Where it's like I think it'll be.
I don't know. I don't know if it'll age as good. I mean, Wind Waker. Yeah, it'll look good.
They'll make it look gorgeous, and I could even see maybe like some additional content a little bit, because I was thinking originally, I'm like, all right, the next Paper Mario game, but Intelligent Systems obviously like they're just wrapping up on the new Fire Emblem game, so that's why I was like, I don't think they'll be ready to show off a new Paper Mario game this close, right? But if it's a remake or a remaster, that doesn't necessarily have to have the big boys and girls, from like the main team behind it, So that's give it to me.
Yeah, man, dude. Yeah,
I would love that so much. I want to open the door, maybe the 1,000 Year Door, for more GameCube games to come to Switch, or just GameCube games in general to come to Switch.
Games on Switch. Yeah. I know. It's like, why not just have a virtual console and release these games? $15, man. $15 a game. I would pay $15 a game.
I think it would be more. I mean, I think it would be closer to like Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 4 was $40 or $30, right? Like
that's HD remaster though. I'm thinking about Nintendo would charge, and they charge $20 for Wii games. So I'm thinking 15.
Yeah, okay.
10 for 64.
I could see 20 though, even 20.
Switch tax, baby, every time.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Imagine getting physical games,
dude. Here's the magical thing about the Switch. If they seriously just did the 1,000 Year Door as an HD re-release and put it in a package and sold it for $40-50, I would buy it. I mean, I'm just saying, it's like even like looking at like like those images that people put online of like Link to the Past.
Yes,
in a Switch box. It's like, yep, I would buy that for $40.
So would I.
If it was just the game in HD on Switch
amazing,
that I could have that. I would do that. And it's like, what's wrong with me? The thing is, nothing's wrong with me. It's just that game is so freaking good, and it's epic, and it's awesome. And, so it's so funny because they have so much potential for stuff like that. But
And the question is, what's wrong with Nintendo? Why don't we have those yet? Why can't I buy that yet? It seems so easy.
I know. Anyway, so we have your one far out. Here it is, Jordan.
Oh boy, yeah. This is
wait.
absolutely dreamland, and I wanted to kind of go last here so I could really set up the scene. We're gonna make this a little bit cinematic,
Okay.
So strap in here, boys, and
Okay.
and audience and girls and everybody. The trailer opens. We've got F-Zero playing on what looks like a Super Nintendo. It's the F-Zero Super Nintendo game.
Gotcha.
The shot pulls back. We see that it's being played not on a Super Nintendo, but on a dingy arcade cabinet. Everything's kind of black. You can't really see the buttons or anything like that.
Okay.
Arcade is dark and empty. There's no one else there. The blue Falcon on screen in F-Zero gets shoved into the wall, and the last of its shield expires. The shield goes down to 0. The car explodes.
Mm-hmm.
We hear a very familiar battle cry. Anyone who's played Smash Bros would hear this one right away.
Show me your moves.
Falcon Punch! A dark figure walks out of the arcade, down the street. Futuristic looking vehicles are zooming past. We see the faintest blue in this figure's costume. The fluttering of a yellow scarf. He finally arrives at his destination. I feel like I'm talking like Reggie here.
This is beautiful.
Right?
You are.
A shady, not a friendly looking parking lot flooded by a single bright white halogen lamp. One car in the lot. It's the Blue Falcon. The camera pans up to the sky. We get a logo for F-Zero Mute City Stories. And then 2 cars zoom by on the street. They're kind of like, one's going north, one's going south, and they stop at a light, and they both have a number 20 on them. 2020 release date. This is what Retro has been working on. It's not Metroid, it's not Donkey Kong. They got the keys to the F-Zero franchise. And that's what we've been waiting to see.
And this plays like Grand Theft Auto.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Right,
We don't know. I don't know what it plays like. I can tell you
Sounds
it's dark.
heavy.
I can tell you it's gritty. I can tell you there's racing. But I can tell you Captain Falcon's the main character. This
And
could
then
be anything.
Falcon punches an arcade game.
He Falcon punches himself, losing in F-Zero on Super Nintendo. The height of irony to start it. So
That
It
beautiful.
all makes sense.
God,
And it sounds
I
like the
want
best
it
game.
so much.
See, I just want it to play like Arkham City. And
Right?
then we are
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
It would just be.
and
it
then
would just,
racing
like,
involved as well.
I mean, if this were
well,
something like
there is in
Arkham
Arkham
Knight
City. Or Arkham Knight, sorry,
if
Arkham
this were
Knight,
like
yeah.
Arkham Knight or Grand Theft Auto, I don't care. I want to explore this world of F-Zero, right? I want something a
know.
little bit more adult. I want something a little bit more mature. I want it to be
but,
kind of.
but
I'm
also
thinking,
crazy, stupid, wacky.
of course. I mean that.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the racing part, right? That's when you get to the racing, it's just bonkers. All these
Yeah.
crazy alien characters and stuff like that. But I also kind of envision like a detective kind of crime noir kind of setting for it too.
Exactly.
Like that's
Like
kind of what I
Batman.
was trying to set up there. So yeah, it's just like the
Yeah.
Arkham series. So
Yes.
oh, give it to me
Dude,
so
and
much.
if Rocksteady, I'm telling you, if Rocksteady was working on that.
That would be so cool. Like they
Be
obviously
so
know what they're
awesome.
doing, right?
Imagine all of our predictions, like all of a sudden we're like, man, I can't believe we got almost all of them right, and it was the best E3 that there ever was.
Or we miss our bronze, silver, and gold, and we
Yeah, but
hit
we
all
just
3
Dreamland.
Dreamlands.
Off our new WarioWare.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was
Mario.
yeah. Freaking
And
Mute City
F-Zero.
Stories, baby. Ooh-wee.
The 2019 E3
Arkham.
of Dreams is what it would be, boys. Let's go.
Yeah, that would be amazing. All right,
Ah,
now
yes.
there are our predictions. They're locked in. We're gonna see
Yep.
who wins.
Locked in.
We will not, like I said, we'll probably come back and tally them up for episode 144 because some of these predictions, they could come out during the Treehouse Live segments after our recording of our initial impressions next week.
That's right.
But before we close out this absurdly long episode, what
man.
are the punishments?
I've got to this. Here we go.
So we've got some punishments lined up here. Should I go first? Does someone want to go first? What do we
Yeah.
do? All right. So I think the way we're going to do this, right, is the ultimate winner, the person with the most points, will get to dish out the punishment. Now, do we want that to be to both?
Is that how we're gonna do it, or are we gonna have the ultimate loser?
Well, the ultimate winner gets to decide the punishment
for the ultimate loser.
Well, that's the question. Do we do the ultimate loser, or are we doing high stakes? If you ain't in first, you're last.
I'm down for either way. I don't know how confident you guys feel in your predictions right now.
I don't feel confident at all. So it would be just bringing another person down with me into the sewers.
That's right.
I don't know. I feel like Perry would have the most objection to that.
I'm fine.
There's something
do
nice
we want to
about
do
failing with somebody else.
If you don't win, you're doing a punishment?
I mean, I think that's more fun.
Okay.
Because then all three people are involved, right?
Yeah, okay,
good,
let's
yeah.
do that. And now the winner gets to decide out of the... So we each have a punishment suggestion for each person. And the person who wins, you don't necessarily have to do your punishments. If you like one of the other punishments suggested, like, so if I win and for Perry, I actually like Jordan's punishment better, I could pick that for Perry.
Yeah, you can pick any punishment.
Yeah, okay. All right, so
I think we should have a pool of punishments.
Yeah, a pool of punishment. Now, for Jordan, my punishment is that you need to play Quest 64. And now, here's the thing. You don't need to do a full playthrough, because I know that's like 15 hours.
That is agony.
Yeah, but like you need to definitely put a couple hours in and give a nice, hearty discussion on it, right?
Sure. All right. Okay, I can do that.
Now, Perry's... This isn't really a punishment at all. I couldn't think of a good one, but it's a good one in the sense that 1,000-Year Door full playthrough, but you need to do a review for it as well. So you get the punishment being a bad thing, right? Well, because we have been talking about playing this game.
That's like a 40-hour punishment.
Quest 64 doesn't sound too bad now.
No,
my goodness.
1,000-Year Door is like 20 hours, dude.
Okay. That's a lot of time. That's a lot of time.
But here's the thing. It is not really a punishment at all, though. You know
You're
what I mean?
right.
You
You're
get
right. It's an I demand you is what it is.
Yeah, it's the pleasure of playing a fantastic game. It's just the fact that I looked, it's like a 30-hour game.
Oh, so I've already gained 10 hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
But hey, you lost
It's 20 hours. Okay, I actually did look. It's 30 hours.
Well,
Hey.
Perry, you better win then. You better win the predictions.
Jeez.
I mean, if you're not comfortable, but like I said, at the end of the day, it's a great game, so it's really you're getting a treat. It's just the fact, and I'm not saying you have to do it in a week's time or anything, but...
Oh, I won't. But no, it's fine.
Oh, I won't.
It's better than Corey in the house.
Yeah, and for example, like Jordan's game is much worse, right? Quest 64 sucks.
So bad.
But the fact is, he doesn't need to play the full thing, so because that would be really the worst punishment. But anyway, those are my two punishments there.
Okay.
All right, I guess mine actually are pretty similar to yours. So
Let's hear.
yeah. Oh, you want me to go next?
I can go next if you want.
All right, yeah. Let's have you go next.
Okay. So I'll give this one to Perry. Perry, I need you to... I don't know if you've played this game before. I need you to record a full playthrough or 20 game overs, whichever happens first, in Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link.
Oh.
And then do a voiceover on top of that video, at least part of the video, where you talk us through what happened and kind of how you were feeling about the game. Like, if you kept dying, why did you keep dying? I'm fine.
Goodness.
I'm fine.
This is sadistic, Jordan.
Hold on, there's more. There's more. If you prefer, you could stream the game. Same stipulations, full playthrough or 20 game overs. No save states allowed. So you have to play it legitimately.
Oh, Jordan.
I like it.
How?
Oh gosh, I feel like you're gonna slap me with one now, Perry. After that.
Well, I mean,
All of a sudden you hear like scratching of a pen. Like, no, those were too.
I
nice.
mean, okay. So let's just get this over. So,
Yes.
so I have to stream the whole thing.
I guess that is a lot.
Or 20. How long's a game over.
Like,
I mean-
you could game over pretty quickly. Let's do 10 game overs.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I'm
but I mean,
imagining
like-
you'd hit the 10 game over mark before you hit
But I have to stream it all, or I have to record it
or
all,
record it.
and then record me talking over it as well.
How about not record the whole thing, but can you record part of this? Like record, like 20, 30 minutes or something like that, or stream for an hour.
Okay.
Does that sound reasonable?
All right.
I'm not trying to I'm trying to punish
Well, if
you,
you
but I'm not
think
trying
about
to
it,
kill
Zelda
you.
2
Honestly,
is only an 11-hour game, so you're already 19 hours ahead.
11 hours.
Oh
We're
man,
playing
my
for keeps,
goodness.
boys.
Oh man, with no, but
like
but
we're
you can save
literally
in that
playing
game,
with
though, right?
Perry's life here. Like these are whole
I know,
days
it's
that
like-
the game's gonna take. Have you
Oh
played
my
it? Have you played
goodness.
The Adventure of Link?
I've played it like everyone else for 5 minutes and decided to turn.
This
it
is perfect.
off.
Then this is perfect. Like now you can appreciate what the game really is.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys are really forcing me to swallow those classics. It could be worse, I
So
guess. My
Hey,
goodness.
Paper Mario is a good game. I mean, The Adventure of Link is,
All right,
is
let's
harder
see.
for sure, but
Let's see what we got for Casey. I want you to stream Katamari Damacy.
For 10
I want
minutes.
you to play. I want you to play through the first world of Super Mario World. All right, what do you got?
okay.
Let's hear Casey's.
So Casey, I want you to put together a, let's say, 20-minute video that compiles snippets of all of my review videos, and you have to add voiceover through the whole video praising my gaming ability. So the whole
that sounds
time,
like a fun one.
the whole time I'm playing through the reviews, I'm playing through these games. I can just give you the audio clips or something like that. You have to talk about, what a good job he did here. Oh, what a smart decision to do that here. Like you have to praise the skillful things I'm doing in the game. Maybe they're not so skillful, but it must
I was
be
gonna say, are
entirely
you
praiseworthy.
assuming
This
there's
guy.
20 minutes of skillful play in those reviews?
I don't.
No,
I
he's
doubt
not
it.
assuming
I
that.
doubt it.
You
have to. You have to find it.
you have to find that needle in that haystack.
That's right.
All right, I like it. Okay.
So at the very least,
Wow.
this will put my view
Sadistic.
count up on YouTube. So
Yeah. Yeah, the real reason.
that's right. All right, Perry.
Okay, mine are much more simple, but they're just as sadistic.
That's good. That's good.
So, Jordan, for you, if you lose, I get to pick any game in the whole world, and you have to review it.
Okay. What do I
Now-
a review? What does that entail? You want me to write something? You want me to
A
put together a
written
video?
review. And do the video, yes.
Okay.
Now,
The whole shebang.
that obviously, I like if financially, if that's an issue, we could talk about all that kind of stuff. But I mean,
It's all
yes,
good. It's all
that's-
good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I won't pick, like the,
The
hardest
most
game
rare
in the world
game.
to find.
Like
yeah.
the $1,000
You have to
game on
pay-
Virtual Boy. Like,
Yeah, you have to
buy
pay,
a Virtual Boy.
What's that? What's that NES game? Like the super rare
Oh,
NES
Stadium
game in the
Events?
world.
Stadium events.
Stadium
yeah.
events. Yeah. You gotta play the real one too.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, no emulation.
And then Casey, your punishment is you have to stream the entirety of Sonic the Hedgehog,
Which
I
one?
like it. I like it.
the first one.
Buh. I don't agree. No.
But you gotta beat it.
It might take me forever.
That's longest
Exactly.
stream. The stream will be longer than this podcast.
Yeah.
Don't worry, it's just a 23-hour game.
Yeah. Yeah. I like how Perry's punishments revolve just playing these long games.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
Well, you gave. To be fair, you gave him 1,000 Year Doors. That's pretty
Yeah.
long too.
Yeah,
It
well,
only
like
takes
I said,
1,000 years
and a review.
and a review. Well,
Oh, you
got
got to review it too? Oh man.
But like
yeah,
I said,
that's-
you're
lot.
getting the pleasure of playing a fantastic game. You know?
Yeah. No, I appreciate it. I really appreciate it, Casey.
I almost want to lose just to find out what game you're gonna pick. I hope I lose. I
Thousand
hope
Year Door?
You know what? I hope I'm the middle person, the runner-up. I don't want to be last, but I do want to find out what this game is.
But two people are going to be punished, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But do they get the same punishment? They get separate ones, right?
No, that you pick whatever
You
punishment.
can pick from any of the pools.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well,
Excellent.
we have eclipsed the 3-hour mark, and probably at this point, if we do a Pokemon thing, God help us, it'd be...
We're not doing that. I mean, okay, so we're gonna have to move. So we were gonna fly to Japan. Well, we are flying to Japan. Me and Casey are. But that's gonna be next week because it's just too long. I'm sorry. I gotta cut it off.
We'll have to save that for post E3 week then.
Yeah.
That's okay. It's evergreen.
It is evergreen. It's good.
But
sorry,
yeah.
Danny.
The Bivs.
He's not listening.
The Biv.
He's not
the
listening
Biv
to
not.
this one at least. Yeah.
But yes,
The Bivs.
okay. So we are going to be having our episode next week up early. It'll definitely be up on probably Tuesday, right? We'll probably bang that out real quick.
I hope so.
If not, it'll be up earlier than the
That's our
normal
plan. That's our
Thursday
plan.
evening. So keep an eye out for that. With all of our impressions.
We might do it live.
Yeah, we
just do a Google Hangout.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have work, so the timing of everything.
Nerd.
Yeah, loser. Our timing of everything is going to be a little hard to plan, but we're going to have it up ASAP with all of those impressions of everything, of all of our correct predictions coming true.
Yes, you're gonna stick to the Nintendo World Report and NWR TV faux show.
Yep, and check out Talk Nintendo Pod on Twitter. That's Talk Nintendo
POD.
And Jordan, where can the fine folks find you?
Yeah, so I do a lot of reviews for Nintendo World Report. You can find my videos on NWR TV. On Twitter, that's where I'm the most active, at Riskman64, RISKMAN 64. You know what? It's actually from the board game Risk. I used to play that a ton when I was in high school and earlier than that.
Okay.
So, yep.
You're the Risk Man.
Yeah,
All right.
the only
Risk
game
Man,
that lasts longer than this podcast.
I think we
Carcassonne Man.
I think we were all risk men tonight with these not just punishments but the predictions as well. So
That's right.
best of luck to you, gents.
Man, this is
Yes.
we got some real stuff here.
It's gonna be a bloodbath, and it's
It is
gonna
gonna
be
be a bloodbath.
amazing.
I love
can't
how there's
wait.
two
I cannot
losers
wait.
too.
Yeah,
Those are going to be some fantastic things to see on NWR TV.
high
Yes,
stakes,
yes,
baby,
indeed.
high stakes.
High
These are
stakes,
high
baby.
stakes. Those are some severe punishments all
I
around.
know, jeez.
Woo-wee. I can't wait. Well, thank you, Jordan, for joining us. It's always a pleasure. And man, I can't wait for all this.
Jordan, you're a blast to have on.
Goodness.
I have such a fun time hanging out with you guys and doing the predictions. I've never done anything like this on a podcast or a video, so it's so cool to talk it through with you guys and create some really cool content for your audience. So hope to be back on soon. We'll be talking about more E3 stuff, absolutely, and really awesome time. Thank you.
Oh, and
And
also,
if you've listened to...
I was going to say, before we go, definitely check out the latest Thirsty Mage, where Jordan came up with a whole bunch of Jeopardy questions for myself, David, and Donald to compete, and it was a blast. So
I gotta say, the Jeopardy episode of Thirsty Mage and I don't mean this in any sort of offensive way.
Uh-oh.
I'm asking, could there be a more nerdy thing in this world than a thing called the Thirsty Mage with a bunch of nerds playing Jeopardy questions about RPGs? I mean, is there anything more nerdier than that?
Perry, if you want to come on the show,
That
you just
should have
have to
been his
ask David.
punishment.
It's no problem. We'd be happy to have you.
well, maybe if he
You
loses,
should have me on the show.
If he loses and plays Thousand Year Door, he can actually participate in our episode.
I play RPGs, thank you very much. I've played some of Earthbound. Hey guys, Perry here. I just want to remind everyone that this Saturday night, June 8th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, we're going to be having a game night. If you are Patreon, you can join in the games with us, talk with us, chat with us. We'll be playing lots of fun stuff. If you're not a Patreon, you can still watch over at Twitch at Nintendo World Report. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next week. Woohoo, E3!
I didn't even touch the multiplayer, and I could tell you probably single player, there's already 80 hours at least in this game.
It's an aged Canadian term.
I got a glammed up toque. Come at me, bro. 2019, where Perry
2019
kicks the bucket.
Oh, I'm dying?
Yep. I'm gonna
Birthday, that's pretty harsh.
I want to kill you with my
Okay.
predictions.
Oh, man.
Okay.
You'll never play Medios.
Casey is serious about this. He came to play.
Okay, I guess you're more of a man than me.
You said it.
This is sadistic, Jordan.
My jimmies are thoroughly rustled.
This is sadistic, Jordan.
This video was made possible by our generous supporters on Patreon. Did you know that Nintendo World Report is funded directly by fans like you? When you support Nintendo World Report on Patreon, you get immediate access to multiple exclusive podcasts every month, exclusive Discord channels, an early look at select content, and more. All for as little as $1 a month. Check out patreon.com/NWR for all the details.